And gentlemen, welcome to the 2024 Southeastern Extreme Conference Championship for high school 8-man football. On behalf of the SEEC and 8-man Extreme, we thank you for attending at Knight Stadium in Fayetteville, Tennessee, and tuning in on YouTube to join us in celebrating an incredible season of athletic excellence. Let's meet the two teams participating in tonight's final contest of 2024. They finished the regular season as the #1 seed in the North with a 5-0 conference record. Won in the quarterfinal 56-16 against the Chattanooga Patriots, and won in the semifinal 52-42 against the South Haven Christian School Patriots to get here. From Mount Juliet, Tennessee, give it up for tonight's away team and the runner-up for last year's conference championship, the Tennessee Heat. They finished the season as the #1 seed in the South with a 6-0 conference record and won in the semifinals 66-28 against the Christian Community School Colts to get here. From Huntsville, Alabama, give it up for tonight's home team and the two-time defending Southeastern Extreme Conference champions, the Freedom Cowboys. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your caps for a word of prayer from Riverside Christian Academy Campus Minister Travis Creasy.
Father, we're thankful for the blessing of knowing you, of being able to be here tonight for this sporting event. We're thankful for these young men and their effort and their heart that they put into this season. We're thankful for their coaches and support staff and volunteers and families who look after these young men. We pray for a safe night of activity. We were thankful for all those who show up, our officials. We're thankful for their effort tonight. We pray that you help us to be safe as we compete. Help us to do everything that honors you tonight and help us to have good sportsmanship. We're thankful for your son Jesus, through his holy name that we pray today, and amen.
At this time, we ask those of you to continue standing, or those who are willing and able, to please rise to honor the United States and those who support our freedom at home and abroad with the playing of our national anthem.
And
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to tonight's away team and the #1 seed in the North on the season from Mount Juliet, Tennessee, the Tennessee Heat. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, your two-time defending Southeastern Extreme Conference champions, the Freedom Cowboys. If you'll direct your attention to midfield for the coin toss with referee Mike McKenzie. The Freedom Cowboys have won the toss and elected to defer to the second half. The Tennessee Heat will receive the ball. From Fayetteville, Tennessee, it's the third year of the Southeastern Extreme Conference Championship. Just a short amount of time that this conference has been in existence, and all 3 years the same teams have ended up in the title game. The Tennessee Heat looking to exercise some demons as they look for their first ever conference championship in program history and to seek vengeance after losing the last 2 years straight against the two-time defending Freedom Cowboys, who are just 45 minutes south of here in Huntsville, Alabama. Welcome to everyone watching around the world. I'm Spencer Thompson alongside Eli Cornett. Jamie Martinez joins us on the sidelines. Proud to be with you in Fayetteville, Tennessee. Well, Eli, you know, the saying is third time's the charm, and certainly for the Tennessee Heat, they're looking for that in this circumstance. But for the Heat, there's a lot of great players on their side of the ball who can make a difference when you look at the stat sheet. But when we were talking in our pre-production meeting, you had a few players that stood out to you as your keys to tonight's championship.
Yeah, obviously the Tennessee Heat have a lot of playmakers. Their biggest playmaker being White Sutton, their all-conference running back. But you also have Levi Ashburn starting in place of Elijah Eakin at quarterback today. Rocky Scott and Graham Russell, your two receivers outside as well. Defensively, Sam Hill, Luke Luchtefeld, and Tully are your defensive impact players for them today. And keys to the game for the Heat on offense, they had a lot of struggle converting on third down for them as well as we get this game underway.
We are underway in the 2024 Southeastern Extreme Conference Championship. And we do have a return for a decent amount of yards up to the 37-yard line. That is to Kanan Carter, the sophomore, who will take it up to about the 35. Tennessee Heat, we talked with Coach Scott beforehand and mentioned how their mantra for the season was own it, and he felt the team has owned it pretty well throughout this 2024 campaign. And what's really seemed to hit them a lot is injuries, especially with their star quarterback in Elijah Eakin, and mentioned that we were good to talk about this on air. Had a fractured tibia and multiple torn ligaments and cartilage issues, had surgery this past weekend. Tough for them to lose their sophomore quarterback as this gets lobbed in the backfield. And it's a flicker on the toss. And to start out the game, it's Rocky Scott trying to get past the final defender. He does keep control of the ball. Eli Carr with a touchdown-saving tackle and a great move by Kanan Carter. Little bit of trickery to start out this conference championship.
Little bit of a trickery, little bit of a pass there for the Tennessee Heat. Great job starting out the SEEC champ. Tennessee Heat driving down the field really early. What a great play there to start out the game.
And we talked about this as well earlier this week. First drive is everything, and we'll talk about that in a minute as this is a pitch on the left side. The Freedom Cowboy defense wraps off the runner, and that looks like that was maybe Michael Wagner, if I got the name correct on there from the distance, and the Tennessee Heat get a little run there. But for the Tennessee Heat in last year's SEEC championship game, their first drive they went 3 and out, went for it on 4th down, did not convert it, and the Cowboys started with about a 37-yard drive for a touchdown and then went on a scoring frenzy from there.
Yeah, and I think that was a big emphasis for Coach Scott and his team this week to start fast, gain the momentum early, and they're certainly doing that right now.
Here's a handoff up the middle, a carry, and looks like it'll move the chains for a first down on a first and goal. And they're continuing to drive here into the, basically trying to get to the end zone.
Yeah, they're doing a great job controlling the clock as a minute and a half has gone off already. Coach Scott not scared. They remember how last year went, and they want to erase that from the memory starting fresh. Obviously, as we can see right now in this SEEC championship in 2024, and Levi Ashburn at the helm is certainly doing a great job.
Keeper on the direct snap up the middle, and gain of a couple yards for a second down. They just opt on the keeper there. Tennessee Heat trying to push it through. And I believe that keeper was for Wyatt Sutton. What a year he has had for this Tennessee Heat. Offense, defense, whatever side of the ball you put him on, he's been incredible throughout the season.
Yeah, Wyatt Sutton, all-conference running back. Really good job this year for Wyatt Sutton with 781 yards rushing with 15 touchdowns, 80 rushes. So really good job by him. Had a great year last year and has just built on it on his sophomore year campaign.
They got Ashburn to the left. He's actually going to take the snap himself. They'll hand it off. And this Freedom Cowboys defensive line, they allowed a lot of chunk yards on that trick play, but you could see that Logan Bryers, also an all-conference member, fired up that he got the stop on 2nd and goal.
Yeah, and this Freedom defense, it's really hard to run in between the tackles when you got Logan Bryers and Jalen Venter on the other side of the ball. So if I'm the Heat side, I'll try to outflank them because the Tennessee Heat have a lot of speed, so they really got to utilize that early.
3rd and goal. Trust Ashburn, they have a player in motion. Same play there, but it works to the advantage, trying to push for the goal line, and he's just short, right about on the goal line for a 4th and goal.
4th down.
Good call there. Give your bell cow the ball. Give Wyatt Sutton the ball. Great job there. And as we saw in the last 3 plays, it was a little bit hard for the Tennessee Heat to run in between the tackles, but they're coming up. They're not running the same play twice. They're really doing a good job confusing the Freedom Cowboy defense. So with this looks like 4th and goal at the 2-yard line, I don't expect anything else but Wyatt Sutton here.
Again, first drive of the game for the Heat in last year's championship. Went 3 and out, went for it on 4th down, different circumstance. Then here it's a keeper up the middle and a touchdown. Levi Ashburn with rushing touchdown number 7.
Just a zone read there by Levi Ashburn. Reading the motion, guys, you see the outside receiver comes into motion, just fakes that handoff on the jet sweep, takes it up the middle for an easy Tennessee Heat touchdown as the Tennessee Heat get on the board first in the SEEC championship game. (8:13) Tennessee Heat do not have a kicker.
They will go for 2 here on this drive. Toss by Ashburn. 2-point conversion is good. A good reception to the left side. That is now 8-0. And let's welcome in the third member of our crew, Jamie Martinez. Jamie?
In rainy Fayetteville, Tennessee for the SEEC championship between the Tennessee Heat and the Freedom Cowboys. It's a heavyweight battle on offense, with the Freedom Cowboys averaging an astonishing 50 points per game, 20 of which come in the first quarter. In the last 2 SEEC championships, the Heat gave up 14 points in both first quarters. The Heat already punched one in early. Let's see if this Cowboys' electric first quarter offense can respond. Spencer, back to you.
Yeah, Jamie's absolutely right on this season. Just a huge amount of scoring from both sides. You've got a high-scoring offense versus a low score allowed defense. Results in this matchup here, but a lot better start than the last couple of times that these teams have met. The Heat and the Cowboys were, since 2020, they had a Independence Bowl in the regular season due to scheduling conflicts and trying to realign with the new teams joining the Southeastern Extreme Conference. They couldn't have their regular matchups. So the last time these two have faced off was in the conference championship last year. So technically the Independence Trophy is up for grabs as well. The kickoff does go out of bounds, and we will see a Freedom Cowboys offense on the field for the first time. And this Freedom offense has been
got dead ball, leg of procedure against the kicking team. Ball be placed on the 35. First down, White.
We appreciate Mike McKenzie putting on the referee's lapel mic for us tonight. And Freedom Cowboys, we looked at their statistics heading into this game, and we appreciate Athletic Director Kevin Gochman for providing those to us. Not many players with stats at all, not even more than 7. And we'll get into the reason for that after this play, as it'll be a handoff on the right side. This carry by Javon Barnes, SEEC all-conference running back on the second team, gets the carry for a few yards. But Coach Gochman was telling us that they didn't have many players with stats, and not one player on this Freedom Cowboys team has played a full game. And in his own words, if they did, the stats would be unbelievable.
Yeah, that just speaks to the dominance of the Freedom Cowboys. For the last 3 years, they've had playmakers all over the field, and as tonight, they obviously have Jalen Venter and Logan Briers, but Javion Barnes is the guy that just ran the ball. He's actually come on really strong this year as Venter takes it out on the outside.
Yeah, it's Jalen Venter to get the first down for the Freedom Cowboys. Goes down to about the 47-yard line. Venter, second team all quarterback for the year, and only second on the year to. There's another all-conference member who will be honored tonight at postgame with the Southeastern Extreme Conference all-conference team members. At least they'll honor everybody, mention all their names. We'll have that for you here on 8-Man Extreme. And second all-quarterback of only 2 of them. Sometimes you have positions that are multiple players, but quarterback position, only 2. Venter, fantastic on the year. Speaking of which, there goes Jalen Venter on the carry, and he'll move the sticks again for the first down to the 40. This Freedom Cowboys team is so difficult to stop when you're looking at it from the secondary's perspective.
Yeah, it's really hard to stop because everybody's got to come downhill because Jalen Venter, Javion Barnes, or Logan Bryce is going to get the football. So they're a heavy run team on the year. When it comes to Freedom's offense, their tendencies are 80% run, about 20% pass. So when they do pass it, you don't expect it, but it mostly comes on third down. Jonathan Callan is really their throwing quarterback. Venter will kind of sling it around a little bit, but Jonathan Callan is kind of the guy that slings the rock for him.
You knew that especially from facing off against this Freedom team several times over the last few years. Speaking of slinging the rock, there's Javion Barnes with some options to the outside. He'll make a gain of about 2 yards there. The Heat defense with Wyatt Sutton and company getting the tackle.
Yeah, and like you said, facing off this team against once this year, it's really hard to scout when you got 3 guys you got to stop, 3 key players you got to stop, and Barnes, Briers, and Venter. We really did have a tough time stopping all of them. You also have guys that come up big in the passing game as well. So Freedom offense. Also, you got to speak to the dominance of the Freedom offensive line. You can't run the ball without a solid offensive line, and Freedom has had a really solid offensive line for years.
Very light showers here in Fayetteville at 70 degrees, light participation over the next hour, so maybe a rush-heavy game here as a fake lob. There goes Jalen Venter, who's got space in the middle. Jalen Venter will head to the end zone. Touchdown, Cowboys.
Yeah, just a fake pitch right there. Jalen Venter takes it right up the middle, gashes the Tennessee Heat defense on that. If we can get the replay, get another second look at it. Looks like the Tennessee Heat defense just overread the pitch man on that one, and that just allowed Venter to take it up the middle to potentially tie this game. Great job there by the Freedom offense. Yep, if you're right there, just takes it up the middle. As you saw, the whole Tennessee defense float over to the pitch man right there, and Javion Barnes. Barnes getting the ball in the last 3 plays. You got to think that's who they thought was going to get the ball as Freedom tries to tie this game up, Spence.
It's only getting a little excited because it's showing the replay on there on the back end of the run, but Jalen Venter with rushing touchdown number 29 on the over 1,200 rushing yards for Jalen Venter. And on the 2-pointer, they'll head up the middle, trying to push for the goal line. The signal is good. Logan Bryers ties it up at 8.
Yeah, just Bryers up the middle. That's their bell guy. That's their power guy. So great job there for tying up the game for the Freedom Cowboys as this game's all tied up.
We appreciate those of you who are spending your Saturday night watching us. Hopefully you have a split screen with any of the other great college football games that are going on right now. We're certain members are Crimson Tide fans, and we're watching this Alabama-LSU game right now as I have one of my partners point to the other edge of the screen there. And I've got it also on my iPad here, 7-3 Alabama leading over LSU. And again, a lot of other great games going on tonight. We appreciate you spending your Saturday night with us here on 8-Man Extreme. Should be under light participation for the next hour here. And there were talks. It looked like it was going to be really bad storms here tonight. And the discussion was to potentially move the championship game to Friday, possibly go to McGuckin Park in Huntsville, just as a contingency plan for which places were open. And fortunately, still able to have the game. And only a little bit of light showers right now, which you played in these games before. If it's heavily storming, it's one thing, but these light showers don't seem to have a heavy effect other than ball control.
Yeah, ball control is a big thing. We actually played Lancaster a couple months ago, and the rain came down in the second half, and it really affected the passing game. So you're really wondering how that's going to affect the Freedom passing game.
Ball fallen on by the Heat's Maddox Mahaffey, the sophomore. Headed down there, prevent any sort of recovery from the Freedom Special Teams unit. For the Tennessee Heat, 62-94 overall. They've been 4-11 in the playoffs, but ever since joining the Southeastern Extreme Conference, they have been 17-3 total in conference play, and all of their losses have been to the Freedom Cowboys, including the championships from the last several years. As they start out this drive, there's a little bit of ball control issues. You saw it slip up there, and he's tackled by Venter and company. He had to keep it instead of trying to find an opportunity to pass.
And going back to the Tennessee Heat, right, they were down 12-0 early in the game last year, in the championship game last year. So if I'm Coach Scott and I'm Tennessee Heat, I'm feeling okay right now. It's a tied 8-8 game, 5 minutes left in the first quarter. I'm really feeling okay right now. You obviously want to go down and punch it and score because Jalen Venter and the Freedom offense can score at any time. So really getting first downs, take it one play at a time, as Coach Scott was preaching to his guys this week. Own it, focus, own the moment, and that's certainly what they're doing right now.
Keeper by Ashburn on the right side. He'll get a gain of a chunk of yards there to bring it up to about a 3rd down and 4. Meanwhile, on the Freedom Cowboys side, since 2005, fairly good success, 130 wins, 75 losses overall, and that's all under the tenure of Coach Kyle Collins, who's been with the program for so many years. 14-6 in postseason play, primarily from their NHSA playoff games, and 17-1 in SEEC play. Their only loss in the regular season last year to the Tennessee Heat. They got vengeance. They'll air it out on the right side. The Heat will, looking for the diving catch, couldn't get it there around the 30. Incomplete pass. He had the good idea there. Maybe dry conditions, it would have been an easier catch.
Yeah, and that's okay. You know, you're gonna have big plays missed, and that's just part of the game. And you just gotta really bounce back from the next play. Take it a play at a time. Forget the last play. Forget the last mistake, and focus on the next play as they break out of the huddle.
punt unit out for this Tennessee Heat special teams. A high snap, but will get the punt off. And this will be sent with a bounce all the way down to the 15. And I can hear James shouting, "Do it for the brand," as it goes down to the 17-yard line. There it is. It goes all the way to the 17-yard line for a great punt from Tennessee Heat. The problem is with at least when you're looking at it from the Tennessee Heat's perspective, it doesn't matter how deep you pin the Freedom Cowboys. You saw they just marched it down the field about 70, 75 yards. So it doesn't matter if you pin them deep. They got to capitalize on their offensive drives.
Yeah, and the Freedom offense is known for big plays. If that's Jalen Venter, Javion Barnes, or Logan Byers. Eli Carr, another guy that's really good at catching the ball. So no matter where they are, they're good at big plays, and that's what Freedom's got. The Tennessee Heat have to do. They have to stop the big play. They have to shut them down. Biggest key for the Tennessee Heat defense is to contain the edges. Don't let Venter and Javion Barnes get outside.
They'll sweep around, and left side it's Venter again. Jalen Venter finding open space for a moment, but does get the first down. He'll get all the way down to the 35-yard line.
You can't go high on this guy. You got to go low on him. He's a big physical runner. As Coach Scott said last week, they faced Cade Atkinson. He said both Venter and Atkinson's skill sets are very similar. Venter with a little bit more power. So this week during practice, they basically practiced the same way they practiced for Cade Atkinson. But with a little bit, they said they polished the game plan a little bit more, planning for Venter. But Venter, a little bit more to a skill set than Atkinson. But again, both great quarterbacks in the Heat. Back-to-back weeks are really facing really good all-conference quarterbacks.
In motion, Venter will keep it again and swallowed up by the Tennessee Heat defense. You can see the celebration from several players on the Heat squad who leads the team in tackles, both solo and assist.
Sam Hill was another guy Coach Scott praised a lot with 72 tackles on the year, like you just said. He said Coach Scott told us that last week against South Haven he was flying all over the field, running side to side. Really good linebacker there for the Tennessee Heat, really the leader and dog of that defense. So expect him to have a really big game tonight.
It's amazing that Sam Hill has been able to carry the workload for himself. Coach Scott telling us pregame that he didn't even really have that many defensive backs going into the game, missing about 2 or 3 because of injury. As this defense tries to hold the Cowboys at a 2nd and 10. Venter has the option. He'll shovel it out to Barnes, and Barnes will get stopped for a gain of about 2 yards for a 3rd and 8.
And this is the key down, 3rd down. They gave up a lot of 3rd downs last year to the Freedom offense. They have to come up big here and get the ball back and try to take the lead before the end of the first quarter. So if I'm the Heat, obviously it's going to be a run, maybe a play-action pass because the Freedom's known to sneak out a play-action pass. Looks like Jonathan Cowan's not in the game, but Venter's also known for chunking the ball. And his main target is number 6 for the Freedom Cowboys. Nathan Brown is kind of his go-to target. As you see Nathan Brown split out here. So like you just said, key matchup down here, Nathan Brown on this Tennessee Heat secondary.
Yeah, they don't throw that often, but Brown 10 catches for 329 yards and 6 touchdowns. So when they do, he is money. Venter is going to air it out just outside of the reach of, we just mentioned, Nathan Brown. On that catch would have essentially stayed on his average of about 33 yards per catch. But maybe would have been about 12 yards on there to get a chunk play away, but 4th down here for the Freedom Cowboys.
And that's 1 3rd down stop for the Tennessee Heat. So really good job by the Tennessee Heat defense. Like we said earlier, with a depleted secondary, able to come up big as that ball went right through Brown's hands. But if I'm Tennessee Heat, I'm still feeling good. Tie game, able to get the ball back, and the Ashburn and the offense able to get back on the field.
4th down, the Freedom Cowboys looked upon it, but it's a high snap over Briers. He somehow got it off and at least gets it over to about the 49-yard line. Great field positioning for the Heat. Almost a costly mistake for Freedom.
Almost a costly mistake, but kudos to Logan Briers right there to get that punt off. Setting up Tennessee Heat in good field position. They just got to be able to convert and get down for a score.
This Tennessee Heat offense scoring on all sides of the ball. A lot of touchdowns on the receiving side, the rushing side. They went through 3 different quarterbacks on the year. Eakin, Hill, and Ashburn all had reps at the quarterback position, and Ashburn ending up being their main guy once Eakin went down. Pitch in the left side. Here goes a carry for Wyatt Sutton. He'll go to the left side to about the 31-yard line, and a big chunk play for the SEEC offense on a new set of downs.
2 players, Sutton, Venter. That's the story of the game. Which running back, you can basically call Venter a running back playing the quarterback position, but which runner is going to have the biggest game tonight? As we saw, Sutton also threw a pass. So they both have a pass in this game, but which player is going to come up biggest for their team tonight? That's the story of the game.
Most of the time has been chunked away here in this first quarter. Sling across the middle and a diving catch and a great reception by the sophomore. He's had 13 catches for 131 yards on the year, and he's got another chunk play for a first down.
Yeah, McCaffrey running in motion, running a quick slant route. Great catch, get that good ball control there, able to get his arms underneath the ball, pointing for the first down. Great job there by McCaffrey, picking up the first down for the Tennessee Heat as they're driving down the field.
Great sophomore move by Maddox Mahaffey as this Tennessee Heat offense heads up to the line. What'll likely be the final play of the first quarter. You got Ashburn with a man to his right. He'll send another one in motion with the low snap and lob it to the right. Looks like they were trying that trick play again in the end zone. It's not going to go anywhere. And the end of the first quarter is maybe a yard or two gain on a missed play there. 1 quarter down. It's a good one here thus far in Fayetteville. 8-8 in the 2024 Southeastern Extreme Conference Championship. Start of the second quarter here in Fayetteville. They at least get coordinated on this side. 2nd down and 10 with switching sides of the field. I beg your pardon. 2nd down and 5 inside the 20-yard line. Heat in the red zone with motion from Scott. Toss into the end zone looking for Scott. Overthrown. You had Javion Barnes in coverage, but an incomplete pass across the middle.
Yeah, Javion Barnes, kind of your do-it-all guy playing corner and running back. See if we can get a replay here. Just a little bit of an overthrow by Ashburn, just kind of shaking a little bit of the rust off. So not too big, not too bad. Still good full field position as they come up on 3rd and 5, looks like.
Take it from assistant coach Cornett here that you can have rust even if you played a game in the previous week at the semis. Have rust at any point to try and shake it off early on in this game. Carry up the middle, Wyatt Sutton. Got a gain of a couple of yards. He's brought down by Venter. Venter on the year had 38 recorded tackles and led the team on statistics with that. Again, you only have 6 players on the Freedom Cowboys who have any sort of statistics. The only other player who had some sort of significance on the year, at least recorded, was Sam Trotter. And he had the second-team offensive lineman for the Southeastern Extreme Conference, but no recorded stats on that, which you don't really see those on the offensive or defensive line that often. Have to use what's called the eye test on that one. 4th down, the Heat will go for it with a couple of yards to go, and they're going to opt to pass it, and it's batted at the line. Pass batted at the line by, it looked like either Jalen Venter or Chase Childers, and a turnover on downs. The Freedom defense gets a needed stop.
Yeah, he was looking for the slot receiver on that slant route. Way to get their hands up, knock the ball down with the Freedom offense set up in their own territory, looking for the lead here.
New set of downs for the Freedom Cowboys, getting a stop on the secondary. So both teams have been stopped on their offensive drives, even with Freedom Cowboys didn't go that far on their last drive, essentially a 3-and-out. And we've got a flag in the backfield. We'll hear from Mike McKenzie in a moment. Having a discussion here with the officials, trying to figure out what the flag was for. It also came before anybody was set on the line, so I don't know if it was 12 men or what the deal was.
Could be that or an illegal formation, just the way they were lined up. But they're waving it off.
Disregard the flag.
So you're right. They're picking up the flag on that circumstance there. Looks like he's still got his microphone on, but looks like the officials are making a clarification. You could hear Mike McKenzie saying, well, he can do that, as carry up on the right side. So hard to bring Jalen Venter down. Takes several defenders no matter which team is facing him. Finally, Jake Wogan, first-team offensive lineman in SEEC, brings him down.
Yeah, quarterback power there by Venter. That's what you're going to see, Venter inside, outside, and in the option game. So, yeah, like you just said, it takes multiple guys to get Venter down. Big-bodied quarterback, kind of your Jalen Milroe type, able to get that speed around the edge and power up the middle. So Tennessee Heat, they got to do that. They got to game tackle this guy. They got to game tackle pretty much Byers and Venter. It's really hard to get them down with just one guy. So that's a big thing that Tennessee Heat have to do. They have to rally to the football as Freedom is set up here.
About a 2nd down and 7, a keeper on the left side. They will trust Venter again, as they have throughout the entire season, and I believe he moved the sticks for a 1st down, waiting on the signal, and it looks like they swap it to 3rd down, a few yards short.
Yeah, it looked like he was a little short on that one.
3rd down and 2.
They'll give it a 3rd down. It looks like 3rd down in inches, at least where the down marker is.
Very, very close. I thought he was a little bit farther back than that. I thought he was at least a yard or 2 short.
There we go. They moved it back just a couple inches there, so 3rd and 1.
All right, if I'm Freedom here, if I'm Tennessee Heat defense, I'm thinking 9, 9, 9, 9. Really key on 9 on this one.
And they do have Venter alone in the backfield. He's got a lob option, but does not pursue it. And Venter could have gotten a breakaway. He did to get some extra yards after contact, down to the 40.
Gang tackling. You got to gang tackle this guy. He's not he's known for breaking tackles. He's really good yards after contact. So as looks like Freedom's going to take a timeout.
The first timeout of the half for the Tennessee Heat. They'll get a chance to rethink it over here. Freedom Cowboys have all 3 of their timeouts, and 9:15 left to go here in this first half as the score is tied at 8. Very rare instance that both of the teams you see on the field here in this conference championship, they will both be in Florida next weekend for the national championship tournament. Bracket being released. First time that 8 unique teams are a part of the field. There was a chance for that a couple years ago, but the team backed out, and the Evangel Lightning had their Evangel Blue team that was also played and coached by Hagen Joyner, which they had a chance for that for 8 different teams, but now 8 different teams in Panama City / Vernon this next week. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun as both of these teams are going to be down there in Florida. Freedom taking on the East Central Patriots, and the Tennessee Heat taking on the Pack Panthers, who the Freedom Cowboys saw in the beginning of the year. So Freedom probably got a little bit of passion towards the Pack Panthers, wanting to get that win.
That's Javion Barnes who gets stuffed in the backfield. And also for the Tennessee Heat, they faced off against the Pac Panthers last year in the semifinal for the national tournament, looking for a little bit of vengeance on their own as they fight for a national championship. And even Coach Scott has always talked about with the Heat, even with them going for a conference championship, the last couple of years, it's more so been about Florida has always been their goal. And Florida is what they're aspiring to go towards. And before they had the SEEC conference, they were always committed to going down to Florida. They had the 1 year last year where they did not go, chose to not head down there because they were having a down year. And that was what Coach Collins was talking about in SEEC Media Day back in August, of how their semifinal game against Tri-Cities is where they really figured things out. They seem to figure things out early on in this season. Javion Barnes is going to the right side again, and he'll get a gain of a handful of yards for a 3rd down.
I think something we haven't mentioned yet is how physical the Tennessee Heat are really being right now. Game tackling, yes, they've struggled with that a little bit, but they've been able to get these guys on the ground rather quickly, minus a few plays by Venter. But they're really going out and knocking heads tonight, Spence.
Heat and Cowboys, anytime they collide, it's always sort of physical matchup. The Heat trying to exercise demons against the Freedom Cowboys, not just from a conference championship standpoint, but since 2019, they are 3-6 against Freedom. Last W they had was October 20th of last year, where they won 46-14 in the Independence Bowl. Freedom Cowboys had their last win.
With no Jalen Venter in that game,
yeah,
might we add.
Yeah, no Jalen Venter on that one either. He was knocked out for a couple of weeks. I think it was concussion, right?
Yes.
Something like that. In the backfield, a 3rd down and 9. Toss left side. It's caught. It's a catch made. Good reception there, unless they're going to get the signal. Nathan Brown, and they rule it a catch, and it's 4th and 1.
It looked like he caught that past the sticks. Look at the replay. Slant ball. Yeah, it looks like he got it past the sticks, but they're going to mark it a yard short. Really questionable spot there. Looks like he caught it at the 49-yard line.
And remember, the officials did agree that they do have access to a tablet for review, choosing not to use it on that. The officials felt pretty confident on the ruling. And 4th and 1, the Freedom Cowboys are going to go for it here, trying to go up the middle, and not even a question when you have Jalen Venter carrying the ball. 1st and 10 across midfield.
When you have a 2nd, 3rd, or 4th and short, you're thinking 9. 9 all day. Up the middle, outside. 9's going to get the ball. 3rd down the previous drive. He missed Nathan Brown on that pass, but they were a little bit farther back, about 3rd and medium on that one. So 3rd and short, you're thinking 9 all the way.
I mentioned it already. Over 1,300 yards heading into tonight, an average of 15.9 yards per carry out of a total of 82. And Venter has been one of the many reasons that the Cowboys have been good on the year. 1st and 10. And once again, Jalen Venter up the middle. The Tennessee Heat line will stop him.
Yeah, we've basically seen Brown, Barnes, and Venter. And Briers on the 2-point. We haven't really seen a lot of Logan Briers on offense, so I'm really curious of when Briers is going to get his touches on offense. Also, no Jonathan Callan in for the Freedom Cowboys yet. He's kind of the guy that comes in second half when they get to have a second and long. They got to have it and throw the ball. So very interesting not seeing Briers or Callan have a big role on offense yet.
Second and 8. Venter will keep it himself again and gets tripped up by the Tennessee Heat defense. He'll get a yard gain out of there, and it's 3rd and 7.
So once again, we have a 3rd and long for the Freedom Cowboys. Looks like they're going to bring out some receivers as I see Brown coming out there. So passing down, potentially.
You see the rain's coming down a little bit, and doesn't look like catching it has been much of a problem or gripping the ball in these conditions yet, but haven't seen that many passes. There's been a lot of rush-heavy offense on both sides.
Yeah, and Ashburn had missed a few passes on the previous two drives, both of Scott, that overthrow, and the one that got batted down. So both offenses not scared to sling the ball tonight, but they really have been, like you just said, Spencer, really run heavy tonight.
3rd down and 7. Venter, he is going to try to air it out, but under pressure, he's going to keep it himself, trying to scramble for the 1st down, and he's not going to get there. Not even close, thanks to the tackle by, looked like Levi Ashburn.
4th down
And
3.
brings up a 4th down and 3, and I believe Coach Collins is going to call his first time out of the half.
Timeout for the Cowboys.
Timeout White. First timeout of the half.
Got 2 more apiece on the timeout side, and decided, you know what, let's not worry. Yeah, the personnel now down.
A lot of chunks of yardage, but Briars is your heavy he's your power guy as he lines up in the backfield here. Next to Venture, looks like he's going to line up there. So I'm thinking either we're thinking Briars here or play extra pass to Brown on the outside here as he's matched up against Tennessee Heat DB.
4th down, they'll go for it inside of the Heat territory. And Venter again up the middle. He's got the 1st down again.
Up the middle for the Cowboys.
Well,
1st
9,
down.
9, 9, 9, 9. Jalen Venter, good quarterback power play there. Tennessee Heat defense probably was keying on Briars on that one as he is their power guy, but 9 able to take it up the middle for a freedom 1st down.
First down and 10, new set of downs for the Freedom Cowboys. Venter with a keeper again on the right side. He's going to get brought down by the 2nd tackler, this time by Jake Wogan. SEEC first-team offensive lineman gets the tackle there.
And like I said at the beginning of the game, one of the keys to the game for Tennessee Heat is to maintain the outside, maintain the edges. And they really have done a really good job of that as Venter only picks up 2 on that previous play. So Tennessee Heat, really good job flying to the football, able to get Venter really stopped before he's able to cut up the sideline. So great job by just rallying to the football for the Tennessee Heat. We got 2 receivers out here. Look for Barnes to come in motion. Potential pitch play back out here to the field.
Gain of 2 yards there. Both fan bases trying to do their part. Venter on the left side again will carry it for a couple of yards and get up for a 3rd down.
2nd down play. Quarterback run.
And Freedom likes to trick you with that motion. Either you're going to get an outside option to Barnes. Usually that inside receiver, when they're stacked like that, they like to motion the running back to the quarterback, and often he'll come right back to the field for a pitch play, and often Venter keeps it or he'll pitch it, obviously. But great job there by Venter, just running outside, picking up a few yards, setting up a 3rd and medium.
Heading down to the final 2 minutes here of this first half. Freedom driving, just been 8-8, no score yet. That snap there was not expected, but Venter made it look like he was expecting it. There's barely anybody moved after the center hiked the ball and brings up a 4th down.
And based off of Coach Collins' reaction, that was not planned by the Freedom Cowboys. So I think that was Venter's genuine reaction on the play with 4th down here. All right, so you're in Heat territory. Oh, Venter is – he does not look 100% right now, gimping back to the huddle. But like I just said, 4th down and medium, you got to have it. And then obviously I would go for it. But again, you're in 4th and medium here, so I'm thinking play action pass. But you got to think with Venter giving back to the huddle, if he's not going to be able to throw that ball accurately to Brown, because every single time it's been 4th and medium, 4th and manageable. As the clock's just ticking down here, looks like you're going to take a timeout.
Freedom, I believe, second time out of the half.
Timeout. White, their second time out of the half.
Cowboys timeout.
Got one more to use. Tennessee Heat have two as well, but 52 seconds, not much time for either side to work with as you see the rain starting to come down here in Fayetteville. This is going to be fun on the prize presentations post-game. It'll be a lot of fun.
And if I'm the Tennessee Heat, you really want to get off the field. You got 52 seconds, so the clock is in your favor, and it's really hard to throw the ball out in these conditions. So if you're able to get Venter, Briers, and Barnes on the ground, and don't let them get out of bounds. Don't let them stop the clock. So if you are able to get into halftime with a tied game 8-8, you got to be feeling really good if you're the Tennessee Heat. Down big at halftime the last 2 years, so you got to be really confident going into halftime, even if it's a one-score game, with the Freedom obviously getting the ball back. So you really do want to keep them from scoring here, but you got to feel really good about the situation they're in as they have to get a stop to keep them from going up on a two-score lead as they go back to Briers.
Briers on the left side and gets the first down on the fourth down. That's been the issue of the game thus far for the Heat secondary. They're getting good stops all the way through third down, but on fourth down they can't get it to go.
First down, clock stops, 43 seconds and winding. Looks like they're going to thinking Venter or Briers here.
A little bit of confusion as they're trying to set this up. Venter, he'll take it to the right side. He's got another man to be tackled at the legs.
Got to take a timeout.
That's a good tackle by Sam Hill as the Cowboys will burn their final timeout of the half. Or at least they should be.
Timeout. White, that's their final timeout of the half.
Burn their final timeout with a second down here. And this is the other challenge, too, with how rush-heavy the Freedom offense is. There has to be a pass play here. You can't risk – I mean, you could trust Venter on running it on the ground as he has been throughout the game, but you really want to risk – maybe you get a first down, maybe you don't, but you have to hurry up to the line.
With Venter not being 100%, I don't know if you run Venter here, but like you said, you got 22 seconds left, so you got at least 3 shots to the end zone, at least right here, or quick out route to the outside, get out of bounds, clock stops. You can potentially do that, but you gotta think pass. But with these conditions and the amount of times that Freedom has passed the ball tonight, not many on the season as well, you gotta think pass. As Barnes is lined up outside here, looks like they're gonna go for a pass.
Venter will go for the pass towards the corner of the end zone, pushing and shoving back and forth. No call, incomplete, pass intended for Javion Barnes. Looked like it was just shoving by both sides.
All right, if you're the Heat, you got 1 down, 2 to go, 16 seconds left. You can't let Venter stay in the pocket that long because if the pocket breaks down, he's going to go. So you really got to maintain Venter in the pocket and really keep an eye on these receivers. If you're the Tennessee Heat DBs, as Scott said before the game even started, they have a really depleted secondary. So this is kind of their time to shine. 16 seconds left. So all of our eyes are on the Tennessee Heat secondary as they try to come up big to end the first half.
Venter has got pressure. Couldn't get brought down by the first guy, but the second one will bring him down. That's a sack for Luke Luchtefeld, his 3rd of the year.
Good play there by Luchtefeld, keeping him in the pocket. Then as Venter started to scramble out, Luchtefeld was able to bring him down as this is probably going to go to the half unless.
Yeah, they do run the clock. I thought maybe the Heat would have called a timeout there. They run it, and great way for the Tennessee Heat to end the half. You could tell Coach Scott and company, everyone excited about that one. And Jamie is going to get I believe he's going to get an interview with one of the coaches in a moment. We're just waiting on. And let's hand it down to Jamie Martinez. Jamie?
Weather was going to play a factor. It's football weather with the rain, and what better day than the game. Low-scoring affair. Can only wonder if it's due to the rain. Let's see if both of these teams can adapt to the grit and grind style of football by halftime with all of these star runners. Spencer, back to you.
He's absolutely right, and that's going to take us to halftime. 24 minutes down, 24 more to go, and about 15 minutes until halftime is over here in Fayetteville. 8-all the score in the 2024 Southeastern Extreme Conference Championship. Start of the second half in Fayetteville of the 2024 Southeastern Extreme Conference Championship. Tied at 8-all between the Freedom Cowboys and the Tennessee Heat. Spencer Thompson, Eli Cornett. We'll hear from Jamie Martinez in a minute. Proud to be with you in Fayetteville, Tennessee. Our producer-director, Will Morrow, as this is a kickoff return that's good for the Freedom Cowboys and goes to about the 40-yard line. And let's go down to Jamie Martinez. Jamie?
And they carry it to the.
All right, it looks like they're having some technical issues on trying to get Jamie situated. We'll get to him in a minute. We'll get to Jamie in a minute. And good kickoff return that was picked up by the Freedom Cowboys. And if my game boards will work with me here, that was Nathan Brown who got back the kickoff return and went to about the 47-yard line. And great field position for the Freedom Cowboys to start out. Ball snapped. It slipped. As James would say, this isn't turf, but the turf monster got to him. Saw Jalen Venter slip up there and gets a loss of about 2 yards on the play for a second down.
Yeah, it looks like Freedom was going for a pass there as Briars had motioned out of the backfield. Just to recap the first half just a little bit, both offenses got some things going early, but the defenses on both teams really came up big in that second quarter. So Freedom looking to go up by a one score here. But like I said before the end of the half, if you're the Heat, you're feeling really good. And with that previous play, the Heat setting up to potentially have a really good defensive series.
Long motion as Venter will keep it going up the middle. Finally brought down by two Heat defenders for a loss. You see the excitement from Sam Hill and company to force a third and out, or I beg your pardon, forcing a third down and long.
And the Tennessee Heat defense has been playing inspired. They remember last year. They remember how Venter just ran wild on them last year. They've done a really good job getting him to the ground this year, as well as along with Barnes. So Sam Hill and this Tennessee defense really playing inspired tonight. If you're Coach Scott, that's what you preach during practice. That's what you preach pregame, and they're really putting it all together tonight on the defensive side of the football.
You mentioned how it was crucial for the Heat to get a stop at the end of the first half, and they did. And now trying to do the same here with the Cowboys receiving the ball to start out this third quarter. Venter alone in the shotgun will try to air it out deep on the right side. He's wide open and incomplete. No flag. A great break up there for the pass intended to Javion Barnes and forces a fourth down.
Yeah, Venter, good job getting the ball out for that deep ball, but better job by the Tennessee Heat DB getting off his man, getting off Brown, and getting to the football to get that pass break up there. Great job there by the Tennessee Heat DB, forcing a fourth down.
And if I'm not mistaken, that was Levi Ashburn who had the break up there, and the Cowboys will set up as if they are going to punt it and try to pin the Tennessee Heat deep in their own territory. About a 4th and 14, punt from the 41-yard line. And it's booted away, almost blocked. It was Logan Briars who punted it off, and it'll be picked up. On the left side for Wyatt Sutton, he's got some space to go to about the 25-yard line. They get down at about the 26. Let's go down to Jamie Martinez. Jamie?
Return to the 25.
Halftime. First off, head coach of the Tennessee Heat, Ryan Scott, said he loves the way the defense has been playing. They've been tenacious, speedy, and they're getting it done defensively. He also says he loves how tough they've been. They've gotten tougher over time, especially starting from halftime last game, and he loves the way the defense is playing. As for Coach Collins of the Cowboys, I asked how is he going to get it done offensively in the second half. All he had to say was players need to do their job. Back to Spencer in the booth.
We got a blind side block against the receiving team. 15-yard penalty. First down.
So blindside block called on the Heat, an unlucky break with the return that they had, and a lot of good insights from Jamie there. Ryan Scott's still confident in his guys, and you have to enjoy that because the last 2 championships with a final scoring margin on those being very one-sided. It was 54-20 3 years ago and 36-12 last year. You got to love how this is low scoring thus far.
Yeah, and both times they went up against a running quarterback, Oliver Johnson, 3 years ago, and 2 years ago, and Jalen Venter this year. So Tennessee Heat defense has really had a lot of trouble with these Freedom quarterbacks in the past, but tonight they're keeping Venter under their watch. That's Spencer Dabbs over here.
James did that to me pre-game. I was showing him something for our connection was having issues earlier. We managed to find an Ethernet wire, and Eli keeping me in check. He'll be keeping me in check all through Florida as well. In the
yeah, you got to stay focused.
D1 semifinals. Wait until the play was up. You were giving good insight. 1st and 10 on the 11. And in motion was Isaac Orbkey, and a loss on the play with Venter on the tackle.
In the first half, Freedom Cowboys did a really good job managing the clock. They had the ball for the majority of the first half, but if I'm Tennessee Heat, you got a long way to go. You've been able to run the ball. The rain has lightened up a little bit, so we may see a few more pass plays for Coach Scott's offense. But you want to be able to maintain the clock, manage the clock. The clock should be in your favor, Tennessee Heat. You're not in a rush, so as we get to the second down, look for another Wyatt Sutton run.
Gain of about a yard on a 2nd and 9, and the ball loose and picked up. Somehow did not get tackled for a loss and avoided several players there, and will head forward for a gain of a yard or 2. And what was a direct snap that could have resulted in a loss, Levi Ashburn makes something of nothing.
Yeah, Levi Ashburn just kind of goes right through his legs. He's able to get away from Jalen Venter, rather, and pick up a few yards to set up a 3rd down and long. Look for a pass play here, probably to Scott.
Got a 3rd down and 7. And a toss to the right side, a high catch and grab made by Kanan Carter, but I'm not sure what they were trying to do on that play, because with the catch that he had, it was nowhere near the 1st down marker, and brings us up to a 4th and long.
They were setting up a middle screen right there to the receiver. Good job by the Freedom Cowboys rallying there to set up a 4th down. So if you're Freedom Cowboys, you got another chance. Went 3 and out, 4 and out on that last drive. So if you're Coach Collins, you're feeling really good right now, boy. Your defense has come out in the second half.
Tennessee Heat managed to get the stop they wanted on the defensive side, but a big boot away as this will go all the way down to the 50, and it's off the hands of Javion Barnes, who does fall on it. Good awareness and reaction there to get down, and Javion Barnes, he's also a little bit shaken up. Looked like he was almost hobbling too, and same with Venter earlier.
Yeah, with Venter, yeah, he's hobbling around a little bit, able to get back onto the football with the Heat coming down there at full speed to try to get on that football. Yeah, you see he's hopping a little bit there. He's a little shaken up. This Freedom offense not used to this Tennessee defense being this physical tonight, but that just kind of gives to the testament of how the Heat have played all year. Big physical football, have really kept them in a lot of games and have really won them a lot of games. As we say, offense wins games, but defense wins championships, and that's the way that Tennessee Heat are playing tonight.
Freedom Cowboys will start on their own 41-yard line on this set of downs. No one has scored since the first quarter. Freedom Cowboys trying to break that here. Another low snap, and they will throw flags there. It looked like it was a false start. Maybe encroachment on that, but more than likely the false start here. Hear from Mike McKenzie in a moment.
We got a dead ball. Snapping action. Gets offense. 5-yard penalty. Banks 1st down.
You can tell Mike McKenzie likes the spotlight a little bit. Seems to be enjoying the microphone. Puts a little emphasis on the penalty announcements. Snap infraction to make it 1st and 15.
And going back to that, the center and Venter having a little exchange of words there. Wonder if they're trying to fix that snap.
Venter looked like he got it fixed there as he's going to cut it out and will gain back a ton of yards, gain back the penalty yards and go for about 10, maybe about 9 there to bring up a 2nd down. About a 2nd down and 6.
Second down and 7.
Yeah, snap better there. with Barnes coming in that over motion, Venter able to pick up yards to get past the sticks, getting to about a 2nd and 6. Yeah, about a 2nd and 6 there. So, again, you're probably going to get another dose of number 9 here.
Second down and 6 for the Freedom Cowboys. Tennessee Heat secondary trying to get another stop here. They'll fake it to Venter. Will keep it heavy on Barnes, trying to go inside. He'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage for a 3rd down.
Yeah, and again, you're in a 3rd and long situation here. And when it's ever been about 3rd and 5, a little bit more than 3rd and 5, they've passed the ball every single time. So look for another Venter pass. But the Tennessee pass rush has been able to get to Venter several times, able to break down the pocket and force an overthrow or just a bad, inaccurate throw by Venter. So look for the Tennessee Heat to come after him again. Looks like they might bring 3 here, maybe 4.
3rd down. They weren't expecting the snap again. No snap infraction called, but Venter will pick it up at the 25. It's being chased down and will be brought down for a huge loss to the 35. And we could see on the sideline here, Chase Childers not happy about that one. Same case with the rest of the Freedom bench.
And even going for that snap, Venter doesn't look 100%. He's able to get on it and pick up a few yards.
Injury on the field.
And it looks like we've got a stoppage for an injury.
It's Venter.
And, yeah, we were talking about how Venter didn't look 100% throughout the beginning of, or towards the end of his drive at the end of the first half. And Venter is going to be looked at. We will step aside for an injury timeout. Well, the good news is for Jalen Venter is that he went off on his own power walking over to the sideline, and the coaching staff are going to look at him, make sure he is okay. Low snap on the punt, and this will be essentially a line drive that'll go down to the 33-yard line, and the Tennessee Heat offense will get back to work. And huge loss if Venter is not able to come back in this game.
Yeah,
and for Florida, too.
And for Florida, too, going up against East Central next Thursday. But if you're the Tennessee Heat, you scored on the first drive of the game, but you haven't been able to get anything together since. You were in the red zone twice and not able to get into the end zone. So, again, minutes got 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in the quarter. So, if you're able to run Sutton, run Ashburn, and go with a quick screen game, I would probably go to the screen game probably 1st or 2nd down to set up the run. Set up run with Sutton and then hit you on that screen game and then hit the bomb. So Ashburn really doing a good job tonight managing this Heat offense.
You got Scott in motion. They'll lob it out on the right side, trying to tiptoe to get past the 1st down marker. A good carry for the 1st down from Luke Luchtefeld, who on the year has had 18 carries for 203 yards.
And one guy that's been really quiet tonight, Wyatt Sutton. Wyatt Sutton hasn't gotten a lot of carries. He had that first big play, that big toss to Scott to open the game. But since then, we haven't really seen a lot of Wyatt Sutton. And that was kind of the story of the game. It's really been Ashburn who's really been the Tennessee Heat's offense tonight as Luchtefeld gets that last carry.
And they've got Sutton in motion. They'll give it to him this time on cue. There goes Wyatt Sutton right on cue. Was quiet the entire game and gets inside of the red zone down to the 15.
And great job there by the Tennessee Heat, getting Sutton out in space with that pitch play, able to gash the Freedom defense up the middle. And a lot of teams that have not been able to get him up the middle. Look at that cut, able to get north and south, outrun Briars as looked like Eli Carr was trying to get him as Brown takes him down. Great job there, great hustle there by the Freedom defense, but Wyatt Sutton and Tennessee offense ready to get this one-score lead with almost 4 minutes left in the third quarter.
Sutton led the team heading into this weekend on rushes, rushing yards, and rushing touchdowns as that pass is incomplete. And it brings up a second down. That pass was intended on the outside for a Heat receiver.
And one thing that we talked about in the beginning of the game, Spence, is that all the starters have not played a full game this year. So this is honestly almost the first game that they've almost had to play the entire game. So you got to wonder if conditioning and endurance is a factor in this game, as the Heat have a lot of speed. So they're having to put the same guys out there for almost every single drive on offense and defense. Without Venter out there right now, you got to think that this offense has a lot of questions going into this next drive.
Now Venter's back in the middle on the defensive back position. So he's back in, and he wasn't involved in the tackle. That was Logan Briars and Chase Childers, but Venter is back in the game, which is a great sign for the Cowboys, as a loss on the play, the tackle for a loss, brings it up to about a 3rd and 14.
And Logan Briars, the all-conference linebacker, has been great all year. As you see, he just gets right through the offensive line, able to bring down Sutton on that play. Great job by Briars setting up this key 3rd down for the Tennessee Heat offense. Probably going to go for a pass here, going in motion.
Got Mahaffey in motion, and Ashburn will keep it himself just to go up the middle on the keeper, and it brings up a 4th down.
I don't understand that. You're 3rd and long. You got to get to about the 5-yard line to get 1st and goal. And I understand the run game has been effective on this drive, but the Freedom defense is known for stopping the run. They did it against every team this year, including us. As they're going for it on 4th and long here, Spence.
Yeah, they'll go for it inside the red zone. This could be a pivotal point in the game. Ashburn under pressure, gets it up over the top and incomplete. That pass intended for Wyatt Sutton. And it'll be a turnover on downs, the second time the Freedom Cowboys have forced it this game.
If it had been me, I would have tried to get a quick route on 3rd down to try to set you up for a 4th and short, maybe a 4th and 5, 4th and 6, and then go for that little screen, then go for that little Wyatt Sutton play that we just saw on that. So good job by the Freedom Cowboys getting the Tennessee Heat offense off the field as Venter is coming back in the game. So we're probably going to get another heavy dose of number 9. You got to really think about the ankle. The ankle is really the big question for the Freedom offense, as we're trying to see what this offense is going to look like. Jonathan Callan has not been in the game yet, but we got to think we may get a little bit more of Jonathan Callan with Venter not being 100%.
I tell you, Venter was in on that defensive drive, didn't really need to do anything, but now he's in the backfield and he's going to toss it before he gets brought down. It's intercepted! Tennessee Heat interception! And they get it at the 40-yard line. There's a flag down after the interception, but they'll give this one to Wyatt Sutton, who led the team in interceptions on the year and picks it off again.
There is a flag on the field.
We'll hear from Mike McKenzie. It looks like the flag was after the interception, unless they're going to call a pass interference, but crucial call.
Got a personal foul. Face mask. Against White, number 1. 15 yards. Set it in the line. 15.
After the interception, there was a face mask called.
1st down.
So it looked like the face mask was called after the interception, but a big play for the Tennessee Heat to get defensive stand. We hadn't had a fumble recovery in this game, hadn't had an interception, and it comes in the hands of Wyatt Sutton, who is starting to come alive now.
He's starting to come alive with that big run on the previous Heat offensive drive. Coming up big on defense, as he is a two-way all-conference player. But this game's been a bit big. This game has really been about momentum swings. He got the first one. Freedom came back, and now Sutton is breaking free.
There it is for Sutton to the end zone. Touchdown. Freedom is down by 6. The Heat take the lead back.
Like I just said, momentum swings. You get that stop on defense. You come back with that interception, and then you get the offensive touchdown by Wyatt Sutton to go up 14-8 right now, giving a 2-point conversion. Great job by the Heat. They're dialed in, they're locked in, they're ready to go. That trophy is certainly in their sights, and they're playing like it tonight.
Certainly still a lot of time to go, but the momentum has now seemed to shift. The pendulum has gone in favor of the Tennessee Heat as they go for 2 here to make it an 8-point contest. Ashburn has got a player in motion. Another low snap and a 2-point conversion attempt. No good. So the Heat will keep their lead at 6 points. 3:07 left to go in this third quarter. That's been the name of the game, especially with this rain and slippery conditions out here. It's been a lot of low snaps, high snaps, loose grips of the ball, and we've got a competitive game heading into the later parts of the third quarter.
Yeah, this has been a really great game. Both teams really preparing for each other, not seeing each other during the regular season, so not really knowing a lot, as last year they played the Independence Bowl previously. But again, this game's big for the SEEC Championship and the Independence Bowl trophy, and potentially seeing each other again in Florida, given that both teams win their semifinals. But really got a good game on our hands. Sutton coming up big, and the Tennessee defense, Sam Hill and the Tennessee defense have really come up big as well. So you gotta hope that the Tennessee Heat defense is able to get another stop and potentially go up by 2 scores. They've been able to shut down Venter, Briars, and Barnes. As Briars has not had a big role on offense tonight. But great job tonight by the Tennessee defense, coming up big on the defensive side of the football.
Low kick that'll be picked up at about the 5-yard line by Venter, and can't get tackled down. Several players finally bring him down. Took 4 defenders to finally wear him down to the 21-yard line, and we'll see how the Freedom Cowboy offense responds to that last touchdown drive.
They've been able to run the ball effectively with Venter and Barnes. Given the first quarter, the Tennessee Heat have done a really good job shutting him down. That's kind of why they resulted to the pass game a little bit more. But with Venter's health, you kind of got to think running's really not been effective. You get an interception on the last play, so you got to really wonder what Coach Collins and his coaching staff is really coming up with on this offensive drive for the Cowboys.
From the 21. They'll keep it again. Venter up the middle. He'll get a gain of a handful of yards. They'll spot him down at the 27-yard line for a gain of 6.
And that's why you know Venter's not healthy, because you see a gap that big, he's gone. You usually see Jalen Venter with the speed and athleticism. He seems not to be 100%. We've said that many times tonight. But with the explosiveness of Jalen Venter, obviously not there tonight, which is helping the Tennessee Heat. But this guy's been a warrior all night, knocked down, and he's trying to pull it through for the Freedom Cowboys tonight.
Gain of 6 chunk yards there for Venter, and he'll get the ball again. He'll look for the pass down the left side, looking, and it's going to be another interception. This time, Camus Schroeder, his 3rd interception, make that 4th on the year, had 3 going into the game, and the Tennessee Heat have got 2 interceptions on back-to-back drives.
Yeah, Venter dropping back, going for the deep ball to Brown, his go-to guy. The Tennessee Heat DB able to get up there. Good job playing man coverage, able to locate the ball, high point the ball. That is textbook by the Heat DB right there, able to get the ball back to Ashburn Sutton and the Tennessee Heat offense.
And it also looked like it was fair play, too. Maybe would have seen Nathan Brown wanting a pass interference call there, but it looked fair from our vantage point here in the box.
He was able to go back to the ball. There was hand fighting in the beginning, and that is legal within the first 5 yards, but he's able to come back to the ball, didn't push off to get back to the ball, so good no call there by the refs.
Chance for the Heat to do some damage here, leading by 6. And motion again. Ashburn under pressure. He'll get the screen. Dump pass off on the right side. Here goes Wyatt Sutton. Wyatt Sutton just outside the 25. And he's starting to come alive in the second half.
Sutton, quiet in the first half, is really giving the Heat a lot of momentum, as we do have a penalty flag on the field.
Here from Mike McKenzie again. Flag down, and it looks like they're going to call this on Freedom with the direction they're pointing.
Illegal block in the back. Gets offense. Number 2. 10-yard penalty.
An illegal block in the back is what they will call there.
Block in the back.
First down.
By the offense.
And the last call there on the first down.
And it looks like Callan's warming up on the sideline, so we may get a little bit of Jonathan Callan on the offensive side of the football. But going back to the Heat, first and 10, good big play there by White Sutton. Probably going to go back to Sutton here as they're moving the ball. But momentum is in the Heat's favor right now with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. So if you're able to punch this ball into the end zone, you got to really feel good if you're Coach Ryan Scott.
The 39-yard line is where they'll start after this. A double reversal as this gets taken to the right side. Looks like Graham Russell trying to get the carry there on the play. And it is. You know, Graham Russell, another player who's been quiet for the Tennessee Heat, only 4 rushes for 33 yards. But he's really shown up on the receiving end of things as the most receiving yards at 505, most receiving touchdowns at 8. But only in the shadow, per se, of Wyatt Sutton in terms of total catches, which also gets to a element of how many targets you get as a receiver, because Wyatt Sutton is just, most of the time when you toss it to him, he's going to be money.
Yeah, and Wyatt Sutton's just, he's your offense. With Eakin out and Ashburn getting good reps last week against South Haven, he's really come up big tonight. But yeah, Wyatt Sutton's your bell call, and I would expect to see him in Gatlinburg along with a few other teammates. Looks like we got stoppage here.
Yeah, movement there, move back 5 yards. And they throw another flag afterwards.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. Number 52. Remains second down.
It was interesting, the official threw another flag. It was interesting, the official threw another flag there after the play. It looked like it was maybe something afterwards, but no call there. I guess he was just adding on to give a reassurance in case somebody had not thrown a flag there, I suppose.
All right, you're second down and long. Take a shot here. You've been able to connect on a few deep balls here, so get that big chunk of yardage back as he is going to drop back.
Ashburn across the middle has got a catch to Isaac Orbkey. He's got a reception there going for the first down. He had 8 catches for 87 yards on the year. Get another one there for about 10.
And that's a good play there by Coach Scott. Able to get close to the sticks. Look like they're going to move it a little bit.
Got another flag. Moving him back. Didn't see that flag in the backfield. I guess they're moving him back for a hold.
Got a personal foul. Roughing the passer. Against the defense. Number 1. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Lucky break for the Tennessee Heat on that one.
First down for the Heat.
So they're able to get back to the sticks, and they're going to tack on 15 more. Again, momentum going in the Heat's way as the Heat are starting to take control of this game with 2 back-to-back interceptions and a touchdown on their last offensive drive to see if they can get back-to-back turnovers and capitalize on both interceptions.
Lead by 6 right now, trying to put more damage on to have a commanding lead heading into the fourth quarter. They've got 45 seconds to work with. Clock stopping for a penalty, a first down just outside the 35.
Got going in motion.
They will lob it. It goes outside of his reach, and they're going to rule it a forward pass.
Yeah, it did go forward there.
First down play for the Heat.
Yeah, good perspective from the official there. In real time, I didn't register it, but forward pass on the lob there, incomplete for a second down. Could have been dangerous.
Second down and 10.
Could have been dangerous. As we get the replay here going in motion, setting up Sutton on that pitch. It is a forward pass. So good call there by the official as we have a second down here. If I'm Coach Ryan Scott in the offense, I don't want to get too cute. You have potential to go up by 2 scores, so don't do anything you might regret later as you are in full control of this game on both sides of the football.
Keeper on the direct snap. It's Luke Luchtefeld, the senior, to the outside. Luchtefeld has got a blocker and heads inside of the red zone, just outside the 10 for another first down.
And Luke Luchtefeld's come up big for the Tennessee Heat on a very key plays down in distances, kind of showing shades of his brother a little bit, Aiden Luchtefeld. So good job there, played by the senior, picking up that first down and getting the Tennessee Heat closer to another 6 points.
They stop the clock with the ball going out of bounds. 27.8 in the third. The Tennessee Heat driving. They spot him at the 16-yard line. And they've got Sutton in motion again. Another low snap, and Ashburn will keep it. And he's brought down in the backfield by Sam Trotter, the second-team offensive lineman for the Freedom Cowboys. Shuts down that play.
Sack for the Cowboys.
And I believe they are just going to let this run down to the end of the third quarter. We got a competitive one here in Fayetteville, folks. Tennessee Heat with a 6-point lead, 12 minutes away from taking lead in the championship. And let's head down to Jamie Martinez. Jamie.
Going into the fourth quarter, the Heat are up 14-8 after some third quarter dramatics, including 2 interceptions and a 2-play rushing touchdown. In Coach Kyle Collins' 20th season, he looks to capture his 3rd consecutive SEEC championship. However, the Heat are down to play spoiler, and they are 1 quarter, 15 minutes away from glory. There's a whole lot of football left to play in this SEEC championship, so I'll send it back to Spencer as the fourth quarter begins.
Coach Collins also seeking his 131st win overall in his 20th season. And he talked about that during SEEC Media Days of how you have to have support from your community, you have to have support from all the players and this sort of buy-in on the culture they're trying to build. And they have been the model standard in specifically homeschool football programs over the years in terms of how do you keep it successful, how do you keep morale and investment alive. And there have been plenty of other homeschool football organizations in the 8-man scene around Middle Tennessee and the Southeast that have caved over the years, and the Freedom Cowboys have stood the testament of time.
Yeah, and they've really grown something really huge down in Huntsville, Alabama. They really rule the homeschool landscape in that Huntsville area. Testament to Coach Collins and the job he does. And I was talking to my head coach, Coach Adams, this a couple weeks ago. Just seems like he keeps getting guys every year after year that really gets it gives another testament to the guy that Coach Collins is as a football coach and a recruiter, getting these dogs in year after year.
Low snap for the Heat, pitch in the backfield, and to the right side is Wyatt Sutton again. He'll get just about to the line to gain and past it, in fact, and he'll go down to the 12-yard line for another first down. And I want to make sure as well, we talk about the Freedom Cowboys and the success they've had at their program. Ryan Scott, serving as both the head football coach for the Heat and the athletic director, being a part of that organization, he said the same things of how it's challenging to keep things sustainable. And talking with them at Media Day back in August, mentioned that you would have never even thought that the team would be at this point from when they were in a co-op football team with Hendersonville Christian, for them to be at the point they are now, at 11 and change left from their first ever conference championship as a program.
Yeah, and Coach Scott's a man of many caps, able to really lead his team, like you said, all the way back from the first game against Hendersonville Christian to 2 losses in the championship game to potentially take this one and get their first SEEC championship. They've been seeking that one for a long time. So great job by Coach Scott really building this thing. And the moment is at hand for this thing to finally come to fruition with the SEEC championship. And then obviously got Florida down the road. But right now you can't look toward Florida. You got to finish the job right now. You got Freedom on their heels. So Tennessee Heat, key to is, like he said earlier during pregame, is own it. They got to own this moment. They got to finish. One of the big things with Tennessee Heat that haven't been able to finish a football game is we're going for a rare field goal here in 8-man football.
Unless this is a fake attempt, they are going for it. Snap, set, kick. That is a low line drive and wide left. They gave the opportunity to Oliver Roush, the junior, and He
Cowboys
does
ball.
not get the field goal, so
Let's
14-8.
get rowdy, fans. Let's go.
Which is interesting. I'm sure you like that as a coach. If you've got someone who has the ability to kick the field goal opportunity, they could go for it there.
Yeah, there's only really a few teams in 8-man that are able to go for a PAT. Tri-Cities Christian Academy won. That does kick field goals sometimes, along with the Tennessee Heat. So it is really nice to see that, because two-point conversions are really critical in the game, along with field goals. So it is really nice to see something that's you commonly see in college and in the NFL, but seeing on the 8-man field is really cool, because we really don't have a lot of kickers in this league in an 8-man period. So that was really nice to see.
You know what I think about on this field? We'll talk about that in a second. 1st and 10 from the 20, and Venter will keep it up the middle, and they'll get a gain. You're right, actually. It is Callan. You were mentioning he was getting warmed up on the sidelines and came it up. But, you know, I think about kickers. We're on Riverside Christian's field. I think about Antonio Zita, who had so many great field goals and was a powerhouse for the Riverside Knights during their time, and then his junior year choosing to go to Lincoln County High School down the street, and then became the kicker for Tennessee State University and continued to go up in that regard. And you're right, it's just very rare to see kickers successful at the 8-man level in PAT sense or a field goal sense.
And let me just say, I'm happy that I took one off his foot.
Have that to your name. This one pitched forward to Javion Barnes, the senior, to the right side. He's got space. Javion Barnes, one man to beat. He's forced out at about the 50-yard line, and that might be the spark that the Cowboys needed.
Barnes also really quiet tonight. It's really been a heavy dose of number 9 as we get the replay here, as Barnes does come in motion, able to pick up the outside and gain the edge. And that was a big thing for Tennessee Heat, one of the keys to the game. You can't let the Freedom Cowboys outflank you, and they do on that play, able to get a big chunk of yardage and set up a Freedom first down, crossing midfield into Tennessee Heat territory. We got something going here if you're Freedom Cowboys looking to get for your 3rd SEEC championship. Here we go. 9 minutes left to go. This is getting good.
First down and 10 at midfield. They'll have another carry up the middle for Barnes. Go for a couple of yards there. Both teams have all 3 of their timeouts, which is an important factor to mention, because for the Freedom Cowboys as a rush-heavy team, they like to eat up a lot of clock throughout their games. We mentioned how the first quarter seemed like it went by almost instantly in like 25 minutes of real time.
And I timed it, and the first half was 52 minutes exactly, which I think is a record in SEEC championship history.
Especially with how far it's gotten one side or the other. Well, we got a good one here. From the 45-yard line, a 2nd and 6. And another carry up the middle, this time to Logan Briers. He's got space. One man to beat, who trips up. One man chasing down Briers. He jukes him out. Briers gets to the end zone, and it's tied in the SEEC championship.
And another guy we have not seen a lot of is Logan Briers, able to get the ball there. If we get a replay, able to make a man miss for the Tennessee Heat. There we go right here. Just a straight dive play by Logan Briers, able to break a tackle and make a man miss. And Nathan Brown with a great block on, I believe that was Wyatt Sutton right there, able to get in and tie this football game up with 8:32 left in the ball game. So great job by the Freedom Cowboys, able to tie the football game up, able to take the lead, given this 2-point conversion play.
Now, Heat missing their 2-pointer, becoming ever so crucial now for this defense to try and make a stop.
And missing the field goal.
And missing the field goal as well. And as a keeper up the middle, did they get to him? That's Venter. He's short. We're tied at 14.
This game, man. This game. This great effort by the Tennessee defense, keeping them from getting that 2 points. Again, we're at a tie ball game. Man, we're in for a classic. Man.
One of the rare times that you ever hear like Cornette speechless. For a second, he had to collect his words.
Well, given the last 2 years, all the games we've called except for Freedom Pack have been blowouts. This is unprecedented territory for both of us, isn't it?
Yeah, we've been on a couple of conference championships over the years where it's been a while since it hasn't been one-sided. It's just because of how good the teams were at those points.
I'm saying overall. I'm speaking about Gatlinburg as well.
Yeah, especially in Gatlinburg this past August. We had some good games. August feels like forever ago, doesn't it?
Oh, it feels like it was 3 years ago.
Can you believe we have a set of Division I semifinals we get to call on Thursday, a couple days from now, and we get to see both of these teams?
And we get to see some good ones, too, because Pack is a team you don't want to mess around with. Freedom found that out, losing that game 14-12 to the Pack Panthers. Late rally in the fourth quarter, was down 14-0 at the half, and able to rally, was a 2-point conversion away from taking that game away from the Pack Panthers. So potentially may get a rematch from that as Freedom – looks like we got something going on. Here we go.
Taking a little bit to get to the kickoff.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Can you tell Eli has this natural energy that's sprouted out of him at this point? Hopefully it's for the rest of you all that have the same energy level we do. Eli Carr to kick it off. Down to the 20-yard line on the bounce and will be picked up at the 15. And a little bit of a return from Kanan Carter. Kanan Carter will get up to about the 38-yard line, and a good return for the Tennessee Heat. Good field positioning for them to work with as it is tied with about 8:22 left to go in the game.
All right, so if you're Freedom, you're tied right now. You got 8:22. You have the offense to potentially drain the clock. If you're able to get a stop here, you have the offense, and the way you're able to rush the ball, you're able to drain the clock and potentially win the game because – in the second quarter, they're able to pull off an 8-minute, not 8-minute, but about a 5-6-minute drive. So you want to get a quick stop, get the ball back, and potentially win the game. If you're the Heat, you also want to do the same thing. You want to drive the football and not give the Freedom Cowboys a lot of time.
Deep toss, left side. Ashburn trying to go back for the ball. It's incomplete. Graham Russell tried to cut back for it. Good coverage from Nathan Brown for the incompletion.
Just going on a straight go route there I believe that was Brown, correct?
On the intent, no, the intention or the
intention.
Pass was intended for Graham Russell.
Graham Russell going for the go route to Graham Russell right there. Just a little bit underthrown there by Ashburn. He's been able to connect on the short stuff, but really the deep stuff he's had a lot of trouble with. So we'll see if he's able to capitalize from those mistakes and finally hit one to either Russell or Scott.
Scott has also been fairly quiet as they'll just keep on the carry up the middle. Gain of a couple yards there for a third down. Trying to get a little bit deceptive there and brings up a third down and a gain of a couple of yards for a 3rd and 7.
All right, don't take the shot now because if you are wanting to go for it, as the Heat have gone for it on almost every 4th down, try to get some yardage. You're still about 3rd and 8. Get about 5-6 yards to make it a 4th and 2 manageable because White Sutton is your bell cow. He can get you 2 yards. So you really want to play smart on this 3rd down. Don't go for the Hail Mary now. You got to play smart with Freedom finally coming up.
3rd and 6. They are going to go for the shot on the left side, and it results in an incompletion. What incredible coverage on the edge by Nathan Brown to prevent any sort of catch from Maddox Mahaffey.
We do have a flag here, but let's watch the replay here.
7 for the Heat.
As they did have him go into motion. Freedom able to get a little bit of a pass rush, get it in Ashburn's face. Great job there by Nathan Brown getting in the way.
Yeah, you're right. We do have a flag here. Waiting for the call from Mike McKenzie.
Got holding on the offense, number 50.
During the play. Holding on offense.
Didn't really make much of a difference on the flag there, but no, you were saying it was great coverage. It was great coverage from Brown and brings us up to now a 4th and 7.
Looks like they're going to punt the ball. Coach Scott is known for his fake, so maybe watch out for a fake here. But Freedom looks like they're going to come after it.
And it's a high snap. They are going to fake it going to the right side, and it's not going to go anywhere. Turnover on downs.
Heat on 4th down, fake punt.
I wouldn't have called it there. Coach Scott is known for his fakes, but Freedom's now in Heat territory with 7 minutes left. With the replay coming up, you're just able to rush it, and Freedom was coming after it, so they probably would have blown it up either way. But again, Freedom's ability to drain the clock and potentially win this game with Venter out, Callan coming into the game. Big chance here for Freedom to take a lead, been able to stop the Heat on offense. So if you're able to drain the clock and only leave about 2-3 minutes left of the clock for the Heat, but both teams have all 3 timeouts. So if I'm Coach Scott, I'm thinking once that clock is down to about 5 minutes, you want to start taking those timeouts, at least 1 or 2, and save some for the offense.
And will carry this up the middle on the
Cowboys
keeper.
first down play.
Another keeper there from Jonathan Callan. On that fake punt
Second
attempt,
down
going back to it, would you have
and
put
6.
a player on the outside maybe to run a route? Maybe one or two if you're going for the fake punt?
I would have, because you would have had at least one guy out of the box. So you had eight guys or 7 guys on the line with Briars kind of trailing the back, but Briars did come on that one. So I would have probably run both gunners off just to create the illusion of a punt and able to get a good chunk of yardage, but
and another keep by Logan Briars.
Oh, ball came
and the
out.
ball is out. Waiting, it looks like he may have fallen on it, and I believe they're signaling third down. But
Cowboys second down play.
yeah, the Cowboys keep possession of the
Runner on
football.
right side.
all right, clock is rolling. You have a third down and long. Again, Freedom has passed the ball on every third down, but the
Third
last
down
2
and
deep
7.
shots you have thrown have been picked off by the Heat defense. So you got to play smart here. Probably going to go back to the pass, but Callan being the better passer with Venter not being 100%, I would expect that Callan pass to probably Brown. Brown's his go-to guy. As you see Brown split up at the top of your screen. That's kind of been the matchup all night. Here we go. Let's see what they come up with here on third down.
Third down, they will try to pass it, air it out towards the middle, and another opportunity. It's another interception, another pick by the Tennessee Heat defense, and they've got the ball back once again.
Interception
Momentum swings.
by the
That's
Heat.
been the name of the game. Momentum swings. 3 passes, 3 interceptions. Way for the Tennessee Heat to get off the
First down,
field.
10
As
on
you
the
see the
2-yard
replay
line.
here going with Brown, just kind of overshoots it as he's able just to play receiver and go for the ball.
Heat with the
Great
ball
job there by tracking
at
the
their
ball,
own
keeping your eye on the
2-yard
ball,
line.
and
First
getting
and
up
10.
and getting your offense back on the field. Granted, you are deep into your own territory, but the clock is on your side. 5:55 left to go in the ball game. If you're Ashburn, you would take a nice long drive and potentially not let Callan in this offense see the football again.
Now it almost was one of those situations where do you not intercept it because now you're pinned back in your own territory as they're trying to get out of the goal line, and they do get past the goal line. If there's any portion of the ball that gets past, it is not a safety. So it's now about a second down, maybe a yard gain for a 2nd and 9.
Keep going up the middle. You don't want to do anything outside potential fumbles. We've seen a lot of fumbles tonight. You don't want to go for that pitch sweep play. So keep going up the middle with Ashburn, Lucktefield, and Sutton. And these guys are known for breaking some. So let's see what they come up with deep in their own territory. You got to play smart, guys. You got to play smart.
You got a runner in motion. Quarterback keeper up the middle. He's got some space to breathe with now as they get it up to about the 4
Ball
or 5
came
yard
out.
line, but the ball is out, and it's a touchdown.
Second
The
down
ball
play.
is popped out.
Jalen Venter.
Venture in position,
Recovered by the
and a
Cowboys.
touchdown for the Freedom defense.
Let's see the replay right here. They go with that guy in motion. Ashburn able to get up the middle. Looks like that ball did pop out as Venter is able to get on it to put the Freedom Cowboys up with 5:09 left in the game. Great response there by the Freedom Cowboys. Looked like they were knocked down out of the game with Venter being not 100%, but Jalen Venter able to come up big for the Freedom Cowboys and get back on top in the SEEC championship game.
With 5
2-point
minutes left
conversion
in the
attempt to make it an
championship game. Let's
8-point
go.
game. Freedom was stopped on the last one. Venter is going to try to go for the pass. Quickly tossed in. It's caught. A reception on the right corner of the end zone by Javion Barnes.
For the Cowboys.
And we have an 8-point
Score.
game with 5:08 to go.
22
And if,
for the Cowboys.
great job there by
14
the Freedom Cowboys. But if
for the
you're the
Heat.
Heat, you've been in this spot before against the Freedom Cowboys. You have been down with the Freedom Cowboys. So you got to respond. You got to own the moment. Like we've said, the Coach Scott said pregame, you got to own the moment. You got 5 minutes left. Time is on your side. So let's see how the Heat respond. But big score there by the Freedom Cowboys. Able to get a turnover on defense and capitalize on that on the same play. Great job there by the Freedom Cowboys getting back on top in this 2024 SEEC championship game.
And speaking of down, Sam Trotter went to the sideline and completely laid out. He's back on his feet, but he's having to be helped by one of his teammates. You hate to see that for one of the all-conference offensive linemen, and could be big for the Cowboys as we head into the rest of this game. Spencer Thompson, Eli Cornett, our director Will Morrow, and Kate Aitchison running sideline cam. There's Jamie Martinez on the sidelines, James Shannon doing troubleshooting on the back end whenever necessary. Here at Knight Stadium in Fayetteville, Tennessee. First time that they have ever hosted a conference championship for football as the ball goes out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. It was touched by a player prior to that, so it shaves a few seconds off. And this is where legends are made. This is where champions are made. This is the type of drive that determines what your team has been all year, especially heading into Florida.
You got to get those last 2 years out of your memory. This is a new year. This is a new day. If you're the Tennessee Heat, you got to get those last 2 years out and focus on the task at hand. You got to own the moment, as Coach Scott would say. And let's see if they can come back and tie this game up with 5:03 left with Ashburn and Sutton leading this Tennessee offense at the helm.
Total of 4 turnovers in the game. This will be tossed across the middle, and it's a good reception to the left side. It's Wyatt Sutton. Wyatt Sutton to the 45. He's got a big catch and a big gain for the Heat.
Just a middle screen for the Tennessee Heat offense, getting the ball to their playmaker, Wyatt Sutton. As you see, the guy goes in motion, kind of drawing that DB away, clearing all that space for Sutton to work, able to make Eli Carr miss as Venter does get him down eventually. Great job to able to get a big chunk of yardage with the clock still going, 4:40 left.
1st and 10, high snap. It'll be kept by Ashburn, who's got some space. He's met by Logan Bryers at a gain of about 2 or 3 yards. It's now a 3rd down coming up. Or sorry, 2nd down. It was 1st down there. It looked like it was maybe 2nd down, and we've got another injury on the field, which is never a good sign. They got a player immediately being stretched out, so it looks like it's hopefully just a cramp. Player for the Tennessee Heat is down with 4:21 left to go in this ball game. And I think you can even see on this far side. Oh, it's a Freedom Cowboy, actually. My mistake. They have the Coach Collins stretching out one of his players there.
I believe it's Logan Bryers.
Which would not be good in this situation of the game. And yeah, you can hear him screaming for pickle juice from the sideline and trying to help with the.
It works wonders.
It does.
As a guy who had cramps his entire career, even on this field, it works wonders.
Good sign to see Logan Bryers heading off the field. He's going to sit out for at least one play and maybe more as he gets his.
2nd down and 8.
He tries to get himself situated.
All right, clock is stopped. It's going now, 4:17. You got 3 timeouts left. This, like you said, this is where legends are made. As Scott goes in motion.
Scott under pressure and loses the football, but immediately clamps it back down in his arms. Big loss on the play. And it looks like Coach Scott is going to burn his first timeout of the 2nd half.
3rd down and 19.
Got timeout. Timeout, right.
Timeout for the offense. For the Heat.
That's their
Timeout
first
for the Heat.
charge timeout of the half. They get a chance to regroup things here with 4:02 remaining in this 4th quarter. If we have not built it up enough already, we will, 8-Man Extreme will be covering all 8 games in Vernon/Panama City Beach next weekend for the 2024 NHSA tournament. We have the Division II and Division I semis on Thursday. We have a full slated crew and different crew members working throughout the entire weekend. And then next Saturday, for the first time on a Saturday in, I think, program history, if I'm not mistaken, first time Saturday for a national championship. And moved the schedule. Used to be on Saturday and Monday. They moved it to where the teams arrive Wednesday. They have games on Thursday and Saturday. Make things easier for transportation and viewership. So that we will have that all those games for you on 8-Man Extreme starting at 10 a.m. on Thursday and 10 a.m. on Saturday. 4:02 right now in this SEEC championship game.
3rd down and long, you got to have it.
There's Ashburn again. He's going to get a quick screen out to the left, and it's incomplete. The pass intended for Rocky Scott goes on the ground, and we have a 4th down and long.
Feels like this is ball game. If you're the Heat, 4th down and long, the Freedom Cowboys are able to really get the clock rolling down with their offense with Callan and Venter at the helm. So this is essentially, in my eyes, the game due to how the momentum has been in Freedom's favor for about the last 20 minutes.
Not only that, with the Heat burning their timeout earlier on that huge loss, you would think maybe with 3 timeouts they could get some sort of stoppages, but
and they can stop the clock with 2 timeouts on the defensive side of the football, but that leaves Ashburn, the offense, with no timeouts, with who knows how many time left.
We got motion. They'll quickly toss it over, looking for the pass on the maneuvering play, and it's incomplete, almost intercepted by Logan Cox, but that will turn it over on downs. Freedom takes over with 3:53 left in the game.
Turnover on downs.
They were going for another double pass. Looks like they were throwing it to Sutton, putting Sutton in motion, throwing it back to, I believe it was Russell here on the outside one-on-one. Trying to throw it back to Russell. That's just a really hard throw to make, throwing it across your body. It looks like he was trying to throw it back to the seam, but a really hard throw to throw it across your body right back to the middle. So great job by the Freedom defense to come up with a stop. And they're 3 minutes and 53 seconds away.
We got a legal formation against the offense. That penalty is declined. What we got? First down.
Legal formation on that 4th down.
First down.
You even see him clarifying, what is it we had here? So even if they had made that pass, wouldn't have mattered. They would have had to redo it.
And Venter coming back in the ball game. He's been your bell cow all year. Let him finish it out.
First SEEC championship was a win victory by a 34-point margin. Last year's championship by a 24-point margin. Depending on how this plays out, it could very well just be within 8. And Venter is going to be stopped at about the line of scrimmage, and Coach Scott is going to burn his second timeout.
Run by the quarterback. Timeout for the defense. Second down and 10.
Got timeout. Right.
Second charge timeout of the half. Don't forget, we have prize presentations coming up after the game. The all-conference members for the Southeastern Extreme Conference will be honored here on the field. We'll present the trophy for champion of the Southeastern Extreme Conference for this year.
Fans, players, and the like, after the game, there will be
You got one timeout left. Your Tennessee Heat. You got to get a stop here. Second down. You got one more timeout on after this down. So you're really, if you're able to get a stop here, you're going to be setting up Ashburn and Sutton in the offense with probably 2:45 left in the game. So let's see if they're able to get a stop.
Interception from the 5-yard line.
Second down and 10. Freedom Cowboys driving. They'll run it up the middle again. It's Logan Bryers to the outside. Bryers has got the first down and a little bit more. Bryers loses the football. He gets punched out at the 13. That does stop the clock in favor of the Heat, but a big first down for Freedom down in the final 3.5.
If you're Freedom, you just want to run the football. That's what you've been good at all night. You've thrown 3 passes, 3 interceptions on all those the last 3 out of the 4 drives. So keep pounding it with Bryers, Brown, and Venter. And hopefully you're able to come up with your 3rd straight SEEC trophy as Bryars is coming out of the game. So you're probably going to get another dose of number 9.
Yeah, there's number 9 right on cue.
And if you're the Heat, you got to get a stop. You're pinned back in your own territory. You got to get a stop. This is a big stop. This is essentially the game for the Tennessee Heat. So let's see if they're able to come up on this huge, huge defensive drive.
Motion. And another keeper for Venter. Here goes Jalen Venter towards the middle and a touchdown. And that might have sealed the game for the Freedom Cowboys.
Quarterback run up the center.
Just a jet motion, fake the handoff, straight up the middle. That's what Jalen Venter has done all year. As you see, Barnes does come in motion, just fake it, kind of bobbles the snap, able to make a guy miss and get to the end zone to seal the 3rd straight championship for the Freedom Cowboys. What a game. What a game. Game's not over yet. You got 3:28 left. But able to fight back after all those interceptions, all those turnovers, all those 3-and-outs. Venter getting knocked down. Briars get knocked down. Barnes coming in. Barnes being quiet in the first half, coming up late.
Keeper up the middle, and the 2-point conversion made makes it a 16-point lead, and now the Heat really have their backs against the wall and need to get 2 touchdowns and both 2-point conversions.
3.5 minutes left in the season.
Still got a lot of time left. As you say, touchdown, onside kick, touchdown.
Kickoff for the Cowboys. Heat to receive.
As we mentioned, a 34-point margin, then a 24-point margin. This year looking like a 16-point margin, pending if the Tennessee Heat can anything going. Coach Collins, a little bit upset, thought that the ball touched the Tennessee Heat return player before it went out of bounds, but looks like the Heat will get good field advantage, good field positioning here. Mike McKenzie, give us the story.
First and 10 for the Heat at the 35. Let's get rowdy, y'all.
We got a dead ball, like, against the kicking team. Be 5 yards and re-kick.
So I guess they opted to take the penalty for this just to be re-kicked. I guess the Heat really wanting their return here. Didn't lose really any time on the clock, so it benefited them. It didn't detriment them, at least. Have a re-kick here. I guess they're hoping for some sort of kickoff return to bring momentum here. Moves the ball back to the 35-yard line. And they'll low drive this away, and it goes out of bounds. No question that time. Went out of bounds again.
Cowboys kick out of bounds.
Maybe they take it up to the 40-yard line this time. I don't know why you would re-kick it again just to move it back another 5 yards.
I would take the penalty. But looks like they're going to re-kick it again. They're going to re-kick it again.
They're just declining it over and over.
That ball, like Serger, against the kicking team. We're going to re-kick. 5 yards.
Yeah, I guess another 5 yards. So they're just going to keep re-kicking here, and it doesn't waste any time on the clock, though. So
Back them up, kick again.
back up to the 30. This one will skibble down to the 20-yard line, and a return attempt by Wyatt Sutton. Wyatt Sutton trying to put his mark on this game and keep his team in contention, and will return it all the way to about the 37-yard line. Shaves it down to 3:19, and last gasp breath for the Tennessee Heat here. And one of the interesting conversations Blake and I didn't have last week during the CFA Championship was who was going to be the MVP of that game, and quarterback Noah Lee for Jacksonville Christian ended up winning in that one. But it seems like you've only got 2 players on the Freedom side. One of them would be the most valuable player, but it seems more like you have to give it to the senior in Logan Briars, who was who put his mark on this game several times. But depends on how the Heat can do here as this gets aired out up the middle and it's intercepted. And that's Eli Carr who's got the interception headed back and trying to get past the final defender. He can't in Wyatt Sutton who brings him down. But Eli Carr gets the interception for, I believe that's interception number 6 on the year. It had one earlier.
Yeah, and Eli Carr, another guy who's been really quiet on the defensive side of the football, just kind of reads this like a book, comes off his man, is able to get good yards after the interception to set up a Freedom Cowboy victory.
And we know Joey Carr as well. He came up and said hi to us before the game. He had surgery earlier this year and could not make it out to the Black Bear Brawls and came up and said hello to us, and he felt it's been a good season for him and really good for him to see his relative in the junior. I believe that's his son or his grandson maybe or something like that. But one of his relatives getting another interception on the year. It's been a great year for Eli Carr.
Yeah, Eli Carr, really good year for him, leading alongside Briars and Venter on the defensive side of the football.
As Jonathan Callan runs it up the middle, and that will start winding down the clock. Both these teams do not play each other in the first round of the NHSA tournament next week.
But we could get another one.
You could get a rematch, but East Central losing last night to the Evangel Lightning in the ACSC championship. You also have the Pack Panthers, who, if I'm not mistaken, their conference championship, I believe, is either the next week or it has already been played. Usually James right behind us can tell me the answers to those questions. But
well, the biggest story is with this win with Freedom, they got all the momentum going into Florida. And with the Heat, you got to think how they're going to respond. Because they play Pack, correct? The Heat plays Pack in the semifinals.
Yeah, you got Heat Pack, which is a rematch of the semifinal from last year in Vernon. And as they carry up the middle for a couple yards.
So, potentially, given that Freedom beats East Central, you could have a rematch of either Gatlinburg or this game, no matter who wins that other semifinal.
Would be teams playing each other twice, which is very rare to see, and that's.
And two different stories with those, because if it's Freedom Pack, Freedom,
including conference awards after the game on the field. Thank you.
Final timeout to burn for the Tennessee Heat with 2:02 left to go in the game.
As I was saying, it could be the tale of two stories. If Pack beats the Heat, you got Freedom Pack, which is the rematch of the first game of the year. But if you got the Heat coming back, you have them rematching this game. But with Freedom losing the Pack, you obviously know they're going to have a chip on their shoulder. And if the Heat beat Pack, you know the Heat's going to have a chip on their shoulder. So you're going to have two teams, potentially three teams, who have all faced each other this year, which is essentially going to make Florida even better. But East Central's another team you don't want to mess around with. They're a scrappy team, and they have really good leadership, and they got really good leadership on the coaching staff and on the field. So we're in for a really good weekend in the D1 tournament.
D2 should be even good as well. That first matchup between the Cowboys and the Pack Panthers in Gatlinburg, it was a loss for the Cowboys, but it was 14-12. Low-scoring affair in Gatlinburg this past August. And when you look at East Central home school on the year and the schedule that they played, they as well haven't played any of the teams that they're about to face off in Florida, so it should be interesting. They lost 77-43 against the Evangel Lightning last night, and Evangel not in the tournament.
That's Evangel, though.
Yep.
That's Evangel.
Evangel not in the tournament this year, too, so we're going to get a new national champion for the first time since 2018.
And I was telling James this, and I believe this is a pretty good idea. Whoever wins Florida this year should face Evangel in Gatlinburg and settle it in August next year.
Sure, Andrew Capps is listening to this and is thinking about scheduling ideas for 2025. Should be fun for him to start determining those things as we head into the next season. He's got a lot on his plate with the Gatlinburg All-American games first. And another run up the middle this time for Venter, and that's going to wrap things up. And, you know, for the Tennessee Heat, it's a tough loss. They're trying to get vengeance, trying to get their first hardware trophy other than the Independence Bowl. They won last year in the regular season to take back that Independence Bowl and conference championship. It didn't count there, so this is technically a title for title situation. And
they get the trophy.
yeah, Freedom Cowboys get it done. They get to bring it back only about 40, 45 minutes down the road to Huntsville. And for the Tennessee Heat, they'll head into Florida with a loss. And for 3 years straight, the Freedom Cowboys have gotten to the top of the mountain. There's the Gatorade
Cowboys
bath
win.
for
Cowboys
Coach
win.
Collins, and the Freedom Cowboys for 3 straight years are champions of the
Don't forget, folks,
Southeastern
trophies are being
Extreme
handed out
Conference.
at the middle of the field. Thank you very much to the Cowboys. Thank you very much.
And you love to see that. Coach Collins, his team fighting back all game long. All that emotion built up coming out now as the clock hits 0 as the Freedom Cowboys are your 2024 SEEC Championship champions. What a great ball game. What a ball game. 2 great teams, and we'll see them in less than a week. But really good game by both teams. Credit to both coaching staffs for coming up with 2 great game plans. Man, what a way to cap the 2024 SEEC season.
We will still be here for the prize presentations in a few moments on the field. James Shannon, Commissioner of the Southeastern Extreme Conference, will give a few words. We'll talk with the winning head coach, Kyle Collins, and the most valuable player for the Southeastern Extreme Conference Championship for this year. So don't go away. We'll be back in just a few moments here on Hey Man Extreme.
Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, testing, testing. All right, before I get started, if any of y'all want to come down to the field for pictures and stuff, come on. If you're all conference, go ahead and come on to the field. All right, let's give a hand to young man in the game they played. Clearly one of the best in the South. Clearly one of the best. I'm going to make sure I'm in front of the camera. So, first off, I want to give a bit, if you don't know, I'm James Shannon. I'm the commissioner of the SEEC. It's a pleasure. It's an honor to do it. I do paperwork and politicking, but the real stars are these coaches, these ADs, these young men. This year was awesome, and expanding and going to 10 teams, we had a great season. So I want to give these coaches and all the coaches, all the ADs a hand. I also want to give a huge thank you to Riverside Christian Academy Athletic Director Jeremiah Pearson, and head coach Travis Creasy. They did a fantastic job putting this game on tonight. I really appreciate them. Let's give them a hand. And we'll get started with all in just a second. For those who have been check. Okay. For those who have been here the last 2 years, you know I always say something about another champion. I can't this year because there's not another champion, and there's one very special person to thank for that. But that being said, let's do all conference, and then we'll hand out some championship trophies.
Well, thank you, Commissioner Shannon, and another great year for the Southeastern Extreme Conference. And time to give out all conference awards. We'll start out with the quarterbacks for the Southeastern Extreme Conference. For first team from Christian Community, Caden Poulin. Second team quarterback from the Freedom Cowboys, Jalen Venter. Now your all-conference running backs. First team from the Tennessee Heat, Wyatt Sutton. First team running back from South Haven Christian, Gabriel Deng. Second team running back from the Freedom Cowboys, Logan Bryers. Also second team running back from the Freedom Cowboys, Javion Barnes. And now your all-conference wide receivers. First team from the Chattanooga Patriots, Pierce Jackson. First team wide receiver from the Freedom Cowboys, Nathan Brown. Also first team wide receiver from the Tennessee Heat, Graham Russell. Second team wide receiver from South Haven Christian, Jared White. Second team wide receiver from Tri-Cities Christian, Noah Kolko. Also from Tri-Cities Christian, second team wide receiver, Josiah Dixon. And now your all-conference tight ends. First team from the Tennessee Tigers, Dylan Spears. And second team tight end from the Chattanooga Patriots, Thomas Long. And now your first team offensive line from the Tennessee Heat, Jake Wogan. From the South Haven Patriots, Ivan Martinez. From Zion Christian, Trevor Davis. And now second team offensive line from Lancaster Christian, Michael Mullen. From the Freedom Cowboys, Sam Trotter. From Christian Community, Mylan Bernard. And now your all-conference defensive line. From first team from the Freedom Cowboys, Jalen Venter. From Tri-Cities Christian, Preston Holmes. From the Chattanooga Patriots, Thomas Long. Your second team defensive line. From the Freedom Cowboys, Elijah Brown. From South Haven Christian, Caleb Sordo. Also from South Haven Christian, Preston Pointer. And now your all-conference linebackers. First team from the Freedom Cowboys, Logan Bryers. From Christian Community, Asher Poulin. From South Haven Christian, Cade Atkinson. Now your second team linebackers. From Zion Christian, Trevor Davis. From the Tennessee Heat, Sam Hill. And from Tri-Cities Christian, Brady Boskin. And now your all-conference defensive backs. From the Tennessee Heat, Wyatt Sutton. From the Chattanooga Patriots, Pierce Jackson. From Tri-Cities Christian, Noah Kolko. And now your second team defensive backs. From Riverside Christian, Ben Rubelski. From Tri-Cities Christian, Jaden Fields. And from the Freedom Cowboys, Eli Carr. Now your all-conference kickers. First team from Zion Christian, Noah Beeman. And your second team kicker punter from South Haven Christian, Aaron Taylor. And now your first team kick and punt returner from South Haven Christian, Cade Atkinson. Your second team kick and punt returner, Dizzle Bragg from Lancaster Christian. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the runner-up for the 2024 Southeastern Extreme Conference season, the Tennessee Heat. And once again, a big hand to your all-conference first and second team players.
Hold on, be still. Hold up. Hold up.
It is now my honor to present the Most Valuable Player Award for the 2024 Southeastern Extreme Conference Championship from the Freedom Cowboys, the senior Logan Bryers. And now, for the third straight year, your 2024 champions.
Hold on. Who's coming to grab this? I'm not going to get mauled. Who's coming to grab this? Okay, Sam, you come grab this. I'm going to move, and then y'all can come. Okay.
Please congratulate. We good?
Good.
Please congratulate your 2024 and three straight time conference champions for the Southeastern Extreme Conference, the Freedom Cowboys. Someone give me Logan.
Hey, I need 2 tall guys. That ain't you, Logan.
I'm joined now on the field with the most valuable player for the Southeastern Extreme Conference in Logan Byers. You know, Logan, we talked about the media days for the Southeastern Extreme Conference back in August, and you mentioned how you wanted to face off against the Tennessee Heat again. You wanted this matchup, and due to scheduling conflicts, you couldn't get the Independence Bowl in the regular season. Were you excited in playing in this one and learning to play against the Heat in the championship?
Man, I was so excited. Every single year, playing against Tennessee Heat, it is such a matchup, man. This is some of the best football I've ever played, playing against Tennessee Heat. Hats off to every single one of those guys. Y'all are amazing football players, and I hope to see y'all in Panama.
What was going through your mind when Eli Carr had that incredible game-sealing touchdown at the end?
Man, it was – I don't really know, man. I was just like, we did it. We did it. Coming down from heaven. I can't explain it, man. I was overcome with joy.
Now, last year you guys won the conference championship, but had made a decision a few weeks prior to not go to Florida. Couple days from now, you got a semifinal in Panama City/Vernon. How excited are you to go into that as a conference champion?
Man, I'm absolutely stoked for it. Panama is just so much fun. I went there my freshman and my sophomore year. It's a great team bonding moment, and I look forward to seeing Tennessee Heat down there and who we're playing in the semifinals. It's the East Central Patriots.
I believe so, yeah. Congratulations. And now, where's Coach Collins? He's somewhere around here. Coach. You know, Coach, notice it was raining during the game, but we noticed you were on Gatorade watch, so you're not soaked from the rain. You're soaked from that. How special did it feel to have it result in the way that it did tonight?
Look, anybody's been around me enough to know I get very emotional, and tonight was extremely emotional. The kids just kept fighting. These guys in the gray kept fighting, and it was just one of those classic games. And man, when I finally figured out with 44 seconds left that we was probably going to win, I was beside myself. Got a special group of kids here, special group of kids.
Last couple of years in this conference championship, it's been a lot the Cowboys throughout the season, but this was a close matchup throughout. In that halftime locker room, what did you tell your guys when you were tied up at 8?
I do not think that I am able to repeat what I said in the locker room. No, really what I said was those guys are playing harder. Those guys were playing better. Those guys wanted it more. And that was all true. And I challenged them to come out in the second half and not make that true anymore. And they responded.
And I remember last year you told us you weren't going to make the trip to Florida, decided that it was best to sort of stay back from it this year. But now heading down for the semifinals as a conference champion. And this year Evangel's not in the tournament as well. How's the team feeling heading into Thursday?
We really haven't given it any thought. I mean, I know that sounds so coach cliche. Our hands were full with those guys, so we haven't worried about it. We made the decision last year not to go because we didn't feel like we had the team that deserved the honor. This year I thought we did, so we made it a couple of weeks ago. We're excited about going. I'm not excited turning around and playing in 3 days, but we're excited.
Well, congratulations, Coach. You're 3-time champions of the Southeastern Extreme Conference, the Freedom Cowboys, headed to Panama City. 4 mic system. It's the little 4 mic one. Turn down level 4 on it, not the main mixer. Yep. Okay, good. Good. We should be good. Thanks. Here. All right. Now, all right. Let's go ahead and do a recap. We'll talk. Hey, so yeah, when I said that, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. You couldn't hear me yell. I'm just hoping these mics have range. Sure, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just hoping all these mics have range.
Yeah, it's gonna be suit.
Unless you want to be front and center.
I don't want to be front and center.
Yeah. All right. If you turn your guys on, you should be well. It's just a matter of if they can hear us on the post game.
Can you hear me?
Well, he doesn't have it on the headset or whatever. We'll just go from here. So. And we welcome you to the post-game show here on the field at Riverside Christian Academy's Knight Stadium. Final score 30-14. Just making sure I didn't give any disrespect to either teams by clarifying that. 30-14, the Freedom Cowboys get it done. And Jamie, you were on field side most of the game. You had a little bit of rain shield through there, but from your perspective, you were mostly on the Freedom sidelines. Yeah. You could tell these guys really wanted it, especially down the stretch when it was tied 14-all.
Yeah, the attitude of the Cowboys really changed from halftime. They go in 8-8. They're not in those close game situations a lot. Like I said earlier, all 9 of their wins this season have come by 25 points or more, so they don't see these tie situations. They were down a little bit at halftime. Whatever coach said at halftime really must have picked them up because they came out, they were hyped, they were fired up, and they came out and got themselves a W.
And I tell you what, we were talking about this throughout the entire game about how Coach Gokman was saying to us, you could not have a guy play a full game because of how much they were racking up the scores against their other opponents. Maybe a little bit different in that Pac Freedom game with it being 14-12, but seemed like stamina wasn't really an issue, even though we were thinking it could have been a problem for Freedom's opposition.
No, not an issue at all. And I think Jamie hit it around the head. I think the key word for this team this year has been resilience. Having to battle 3 interceptions, giving the Heat the ball on their side of the territory 3 separate times and still coming up with the win and 2 stops. And the defensive touchdown, I think, was the name of the game. Yep. And we had so many momentum swings from the first snap to the last snap. And just credit to both these teams, but huge credit to Coach Collins and his team because they fought back. It's kind of a full circle moment because you come first week they play Pac, kind of rally too, and they come up way short or too short, and then they come back here, fight again, and they come out on top this time. So I really think this is a full circle moment for them. It's got to feel really good for them.
Not only that, but a couple of years, the last several years before Riverside Christian resumed their varsity football program, players from that program co-opted with them throughout the regular season to go all the way down to Florida. But on the other side of the ball, you look at the Tennessee Heat, and they were in it for essentially 3 quarters. Came down to the final several drives of the game, tied at 14. Maybe if they got that 2-point conversion, it would have been more momentum in the Heat's favor. But for the Tennessee Heat, again, still, it's so hard to be the runner-up for a conference in any capacity, but 3 years straight, and the only team you're losing to is the Freedom Cowboys, it certainly shows how competitive the Southeastern Extreme Conference is.
Yeah, I mean, it's credit to the Tennessee Heat. They played a heck of a game for 3 quarters, and they just kind of, Freedom just kind of, I don't even think they laid down. It was just Freedom kind of took the game over. And credit to them, they fought the entire way. We even said this is the closest it's been in the last 2 years. So credit to them. They have nothing to feel bad about at all. Going into Florida, I think they have a lot of momentum going in. They're playing a very physical Pac team, but I don't think they have anything to really hang their head about because they really did play a great game, and they have a bunch of good players who are also going to be down there in Florida with them. So I think an incredible effort for them for coming out here and really making this a game.
Yeah, total 4 turnovers on the game, 2 on either side, one of them being a fumble recovery for the touchdown. And that fumble recovery in the end zone was really what seemed to shift the momentum in favor of the Freedom Cowboys.
Yeah, that was a game-changing moment. Venture throws the interception, lands them on the goal line, and everything changed once that ball popped out and they landed on it in the end zone.
Right
and
after the interception, too.
Yeah,
as well.
that's what changed everything. Venter throws the pick, and then he gets the recovery in the end zone. So capitalizing on his own mistakes got them the W today, and that's why he's all conference. A lot of IQ. He knows what he's doing, and the Cowboys are getting a third straight championship off of it.
And also shout out to Eli Carr for just going ahead
Yeah.
and sealing the game.
Yep.
Because
Big pick.
as we know, that
Which
Heat
is Joey Carr's son, not his grandson. He came over and gave me some crap for it, but he's excited to see us in Florida. But Eli's sealing the game.
Eli's
That's why I
sealing the
made sure
game.
to ask during the pros presentation to see what Breyers thought about that, because it's great to see your senior game recognizing game.
Exactly, and this not a big role in offense, but defense. And he had been quiet all game. There was a bunch of Freedom Cowboys that had been quiet all game. Elijah Brown stepped up at the end of the game. Trotter stepped up at the end of the game. Trotter battling some injuries throughout. Venter coming up had a really slow first half and then picked it up in the second half. And then Eli Carr. No one had heard from Eli Carr all game until that moment right there, which is really good by the senior.
Yeah, absolutely. It was the game-sealing interception that ended up in the Freedom Cowboys driving down the field to win that one. Now, unfortunately, Jamie will not be joining us in Florida next week. And no, we will miss him, but we'll be joined by Alex Chasen, as well as you'll be down in Florida. And this is what motivates me. We were talking about this all the time on the air, is that these two teams could face off in the national championship. I mean, East Central.
You got a three-way.
Yeah, you've got three potential rematches
Given
as well.
East Central doesn't beat Freedom,
Yep.
you have a three-way situation here where you could have two potential rematches. And, no, three, because you have Tennessee Pack from last year. So it's really interesting the way you look at it.
Yeah, especially on that Division I side. A Division II bracket looking even more competitive with teams coming back like the Southern Prep Fighting Rangers coming back on that side. But it's going to be a lot of fun for you and I to call those Division I semifinals on Thursday and then head all the way to the Division II and Division I national championships on Saturday.
Yeah, and one more thing. I believe this might be one of the best championship weeks all across the board in the Southeast that we have seen. Starting off with CFA and capping off with SEEC. I think this was one of the best years of 8-man football that I can remember. Just kind of not knowing with, at least in SEEC, with you having 3 new teams added, Lancaster, 4 Chattanooga, Lancaster, CCS, and South Haven joining the conference. A lot of unknowns there. Really competitive on all fronts. Playoffs, very interesting. Had a lot of good matchups. So overall, very good year in SEEC and CFA.
Yeah, and one last time, Jamie, on any final thoughts you have from seeing how this game played out on the field.
You know, I am now realizing why the Cowboys have won 3 straight championships.
Oh, yeah.
Championship pedigree all around. Very talented players, and a lot of them are coming back next year. So a 4-P is not out of the question. They're dangerous.
And I get them in Huntsville next year.
Yeah, and we didn't even mention that it was 10 seniors that graduated for the Freedom Cowboys from last year, only graduating 7 heading into the May commencement ceremonies. And on the Heat side as well, they graduated about 5 or 6, and a lot of juniors and sophomores on the Heat team, so a lot to look forward to for them as well. Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, we will be live for the national championships next weekend for high school 8-man football. Thursday, we start our coverage at 10 a.m. for the first matchup, all the way through to the semifinals on Thursday for the Division I game that ends at 7. And then Saturday, it's consolations and championship games all the way through. I'll have every one of those games for you here on 8-Man Extreme. But for now, 30-14, the final score. The Freedom Cowboys are 3-peat conference champions in the Southeastern Extreme Conference. For Eli Cornett, Jamie Martinez, our producer-director, Will Morrow, as well as Kate Aitchison on the other side of the camera, and James Shannon on the troubleshooting side, all the hardworking men and women that make this run so smoothly. I'm Spencer Thompson saying so long from Fayetteville. The Freedom Cowboys win their 3rd straight Southeastern Extreme Conference championship.